Chapter 189. The residence of this master's shoe did not seem to be close, as even after the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, the purple-robed woman still had not arrived. The purple-dressed woman's face was covered with a veil, which attracted the curiosity of many people along the way. This was the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, as such there were not many women who wore a veil in the academy. "Did you lift up my veil to take a look?" The purple-robed woman walking in front of Ning Qing suddenly asked. Ning Qing spoke in a flat voice, "I have seen your appearance, but your veil was not torn by me. But it is a profound congealing nefarious cultivator by the name of Sikong Kai. Me and my junior apprentice sister Meng Jingxiu, in order to save you, followed this nefarious cultivator's residence. Although I killed that Sikong Kai and rescued you, I was also seriously injured for a few months, and was even fucked up by that old Taoist nun of yours." The purple-robed woman suddenly stopped, as she coldly stared at Ning Qing. "Did you say that you saved me, or did you save me from the hands of a profound congealing nefarious cultivator? If I remember correctly, that junior apprentice sister of yours only has the cultivation of true condensation realm, right? You, a cultivator with the cultivation of essence building 4th level and a cultivator with the cultivation of true condensation realm, how could you save me from the hands of a profound congealing cultivator? Or a heretic cultivator?" Ning Qing also stood still, in the face of such an aggressive and incomparably sarcastic tone. He was also not happy. "You are right, when I saved you, I was not yet at essence building 4th level, I was only at essence building 1st level, whether you believe it or not is up to you. Moreover, in order to save you, I lost a life-saving magical weapon, and was almost killed by 2 profound congealing cultivators. As soon as you woke up, you had that old Taoist nun master of yours sneak attack me, so saying that you are ungrateful is going easy on you." The purple-robed woman was so angry that she couldn't help but laugh. "Now it has turned into 2 profound congealing cultivators. Why don't you say that you saved me from the hands of 2 crucible transformation cultivators? Wouldn't I owe you even more?" Ning Qing spoke in a flat tone. "Even if I saved you from the hands of a beggar who has never cultivated, it would still be considered as saving you, and you would still owe me a life. Your life wouldn't become more valuable just because the other party's cultivation was higher. A shameless person is invincible. You can choose not to believe it, but you can also doubt it. However, it was shameless to rely on one's own guesses to make a subjective judgment without asking clearly. To be honest, I don't intend for you to owe me a favor, I just want to ask how my 2 junior sisters and junior brother Zhang Shua are doing. Since they're all living well now, we'll have nothing to do with each other in the future. You walk your single-log bridge, and I'll walk my sunny path." The purple-robed woman was so angry that she had long forgotten the words that Yuing had said to her, and only knew how to say, very good, I will walk on my single-log bridge, I hope that your Yangguan road can be wide and sunny. Don't tell me that you put your hand there to save me. Originally, for the sake of junior apprentice sister Yuing, since you did not take any action against me, I did not intend to pursue this matter, but you are too shameless." As the purple-dressed woman spoke, her chest heaved up and down. It was obvious that she was furious. Ning Qing became even more calm as he spoke. "I have seen a lot of ungrateful people, so I don't really care about you. I placed my hand on your chest not only to check your injuries, but also to save you. Don't ask me why I did not put my hand in another place, because I know that your 6 senses are sealed. If I put my hand on another place, and then unseal your Zifu and Dantian, do you think I would be able to discover many of your secrets? So you should thank me for my gentlemanly behavior, rather than shouting brainlessly." Ning Cheng's words were really not wrong. If he had grabbed the purple-robed woman's wrist to unseal her Dantian, then his true essence and spiritual consciousness would have inevitably swept through the purple-robed woman's entire body. But for him to directly put his hand on her Dantian, other than for convenience, it was also because he did not want to check the entire body of the purple-robed woman. Of course, for Ning Cheng, convenience and simplicity were the most important things. The problem was, Ning Cheng had just put his hand on her, when she immediately woke up. If that Taoist priestess had not come in time, Ning Cheng would have had the opportunity to explain. Who knew that the Taoist priestess would come to kill him, so how could Ning Cheng dare to stay? "You. You! The purple-robed woman was so angry that she almost immediately attacked. How could she believe Ning Cheng's words? What did Ning Cheng say to her at that time? He also said that you used your chest to touch my hand. Was this the words of a gentleman? Under her anger, she unexpectedly forgot to ask Ning Cheng, since you kept saying that you and Meng Jingxiu had saved me together, then why did I not see Meng Jingxiu? The purple-robed woman trembled in anger, and no longer spoke. Ning Cheng was even more disinclined to speak. He already knew that any explanation would be useless. If this woman did not insist on asking, then he would not even bother to explain such a thing. If not for him coming to the Lu continent from the law's way, then he and this purple-robed woman would not have even crossed paths. The Dragon and Phoenix Academy was huge. The purple-robed woman sped up, and after the time it took for half an incense stick to burn, she finally stopped in a corner of the academy. Is this the place? Ning Cheng looked at the complex environment in the corner with a puzzled expression. He could not see the array formations here, but he knew that there were many kinds of array formations arranged here. Moreover, the houses here were extremely dilapidated, and the spiritual qi seemed to be the worst in the entire Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Would that Miao Shu live in this kind of place? Yes, this is the place. In this place, only Master Shu lives here. For the sake of Yuing, I brought you here. The rest is not my business. The purple-robed woman's tone returned to its usual calm. Ning Cheng frowned. This place was filled with restrictions and array formations. If he went in, then wouldn't he immediately be trapped? The purple-robed woman, on seeing Ning Cheng hesitate, sneered, but did not speak, as she turned around and walked away. Ning Cheng knew that her spiritual consciousness had fallen on his body. As such, Ning Cheng directly chose to ignore her approach. He thought about it, and decided to enter the restriction. Although the level of the restrictions here was very high, but Ning Cheng had a very good impression of this Master Shu in his heart. He believed that not everyone was like the purple-robed woman and her master. The reason why Ning Cheng had a good impression of Master Shu was because of that message. A woman who was incomparably concerned about her husband was definitely not an unreasonable person. When the purple-robed woman saw Ning Cheng really enter the restriction, she was stunned for a moment. She stopped, and looked back at the restriction for a good while, before she shook her head and turned around. No matter how Ning Cheng treated her, it was not important at this moment. The legends of Master Shu in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, she had also heard a few of them. In the history of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, there were only 3 men who managed to enter the range of Master Shu's restriction. The result was that when these 3 people reappeared, they were all corpses. Moreover, their corpses were hung at the entrance of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. When she had brought Ning Cheng to meet Master Shu, she had already given up the idea of using Master Shu's hand to harm Ning Cheng. It was because of this that she took the initiative to ask about Ning Cheng's matter. If Ning Cheng was willing to admit his mistake, then for the sake of Yu Ying's face, she would have let Ning Cheng go this time. But Ning Cheng unexpectedly spoke incoherently, and even dared to say that he had followed a profound congealing cultivator to his lair, and then killed that profound congealing cultivator to rescue her. An essence-building cultivator following a profound congealing cultivator, would he not be discovered? Even if he was not discovered, Ning Cheng was now at essence building 4th level, so he would not be able to sneak attack a profound congealing cultivator, not to mention that Ning Cheng was only at essence building 1st level at that time. Even if Ning Cheng's sneak attack was successful, for a profound congealing cultivator to kill Ning Cheng who was only at essence building 1st level, it would still be extremely easy. Taking 10,000 steps back, even if Ning Cheng was successful in following him, and also successfully attacked this profound congealing cultivator, and even killed him, then what about the other one? This guy, in order to make her owe him even more, said that he had rescued her from the hands of 2 profound congealing cultivators. Such shameless words that were difficult to justify, almost made her unable to bear it. An essence-building 1st level cultivator, while simultaneously attacking 2 profound congealing cultivators. Did he think that he was the reincarnation of an ancient master? She sneered in her heart. What was even more unbearable for her was that at this time, if Ning Cheng admitted that he had been blinded by lust, then she would have been able to forgive Ning Cheng once. After all, she knew that she was very beautiful, as such she wore a veil. Being bullied in the dark room was also because she was too beautiful, but for the sake of Yuing, she had to admit it. At this time, Ning Qing still said that he had done it to save her, and even said that he was thinking about her. How could there be such a shameless person under the heavens? This kind of person's death was not worth pitying. If Ning Qing was really as noble as he said, then he would not have said those words about using her chest to touch his hand. With this kind of anger, when Ning Qing really walked into the restriction, she once again began to doubt whether what she had done was right or not. Ning Qing was after all a friend of Yuing. Was it really good for her to borrow a knife to kill him? The purple-robed woman subconsciously stopped, she looked back for a while, and finally sighed, as she slowly walked away. Although she had taken her revenge, but her heart did not feel happy, there was even some unspeakable depression in it. As soon as Ning Qing entered the restriction, he was immediately trapped by several killing arrays. Ning Qing knew that if he slowly analyzed it, then these killing arrays would not necessarily be able to kill him. But he had come to see someone, as such there was no need to break the killing arrays here. If the other party was not the person he was looking for, then he could still calmly retreat. He had come here without even touching the array formations, the other party would not be unreasonable and take care of him, right? Ning Qing has come to see Master Shu. Ning Cheng's voice passed through the killing arrays, but even after a long time there was no response. After waiting for a while, Ning Cheng was convinced that there was no response. Ning Cheng once again cupped his fists and said, Ning Cheng has come to see Master Shu, and has also brought elder brother Yu Chen's belongings to Master Shu. Ning Cheng estimated that when Lan Yuchen died, he only had the cultivation of true condensation realm, and was at most almost the same age as him. Calling Lan Yuchen as Senior Lan Yuchen really did not seem like it, as such Ning Cheng simply called him Elder Brother Yuchen. If he called Elder Brother Yuchen, and this Master Shu still did not come out, then it would mean that this Master Shu was not Lan Yuchen's wife. He could now retreat, with his understanding of array formations. If he were to retreat now, then there would absolutely not be any problems. Ning Cheng had just finished speaking, when he felt a bright light in front of him, as a blue-colored path that was only a foot wide appeared in front of him. You come in. His voice trembled, and was slightly hoarse. Ning Cheng was slightly relieved, he knew that he should not have found the wrong person, this Master Shu in front of him was the person he was looking for. Chapter 190. Ning Cheng walked along the blue path for more than 20 meters, before a flower field appeared in front of him. This flower field was filled with all kinds of flowers and plants. There were many varieties of flowers, but none of them were spiritual objects, all of them were ordinary flowers and grasses. Ning Cheng even saw a few morning glories, he was even somewhat stunned. After coming here, his memories of Earth seemed to have faded away. In addition to looking for spiritual grasses, he was also looking for cultivation resources. But today he saw the common morning glories on Earth, it seemed as if those distant memories had once again returned to his mind. You can come in. That trembling voice once again resounded in Ning Cheng's ears. Ning Cheng immediately reacted, this was Master Shu's place. He hurriedly quickened his pace through the flower field, and entered a not very big bamboo house. Inside the bamboo house there was a clear light stone arranged in an array formation. Ning Cheng could clearly see the inside of the house. In addition to a bamboo table in the middle of the house, there were only 2 bamboo chairs. A woman wearing a light blue robe was sitting on one of the bamboo chairs, and was staring at Ning Cheng with some excitement. When Ning Cheng's eyes fell on the face of this blue-robed woman, he almost became absent-minded. He finally understood why Jia Lingwei said that Master Shu was the most beautiful woman in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Before this, the most beautiful woman that Ning Cheng had ever seen was the purple-robed woman who had brought him in not too long ago. But this Master Shu in front of him, in addition to her slightly pale complexion, her appearance was not worse than the purple-robed woman from a moment ago, and even had a delicate beauty. This kind of delicate beauty even surpassed the purple-robed woman. If Ning Cheng had to choose between this Master Shu and the purple-robed woman who was more beautiful, then Ning Cheng would not hesitate to choose this Master Shu in front of him. This Master Shu in front of him had completely converged her aura, he could not even see the other party's cultivation level. It could be seen that this Master Shu's cultivation level was definitely higher than Kong Pingpeng's. Master Shu seemed to be accustomed to the dazed expression of others after seeing her. She did not care about Ning Cheng's expression, and asked in a trembling voice, "Do you really know Yu Chen?" Ning Cheng quickly cupped his fists and respectfully said, "Yes, a year ago when the Angry Axe Valley opened, this junior also entered the Angry Axe Valley. After this junior found the real Angry Axe Valley, I saw the remains of elder brother Yu Chen." When the blue-robed woman heard the two words remains, her body trembled, and her hands clenched the chair. Ning Cheng could even hear the chair making a ka-ka sound. Two streams of hot tears flowed down from her eyes, and it seemed that they would never stop. "Senior, please restrain your grief," Ning Cheng said as he took out the golden great axe and handed it over and said, "This is the axe that elder brother Yu Chen left behind. This junior brought it out from the Angry Axe Valley." The blue-robed woman trembled as she took the axe that Ning Cheng had handed to her, as she slowly stroked the axe with her hand, and did not speak for a long time. She knew that Lan Yu Chen must have gone, but when she heard the news today, she still couldn't get rid of that sadness. She had waited alone for countless years, but in the end, this was the result. Ning Cheng wanted to say his goodbyes and leave, but he also knew that this was not the best time to leave, as such he could only stand on the side and wait. Not knowing for how long, the blue-robed woman slowly raised her head, looked at Ning Cheng and said, "Thank you for helping me bring back this axe. Can you tell me about the situation at that time?" Ning Cheng immediately said, "When I found the real Angry Axe Valley, and entered it, I immediately felt a powerful axe intent. This kind of axe intent directly bombarded my spiritual sense, but fortunately at that time I was able to comprehend the surface of the axe intent, although I was sent flying by that axe, but I was still able to block that axe in time. After I completely comprehended the killing intent of that axe, I saw the remains of elder brother Yu Chen. At the side of elder brother Yu Chen, there was also a golden buckle, presumably it was a gift from Master Shu. I put this buckle and elder brother Yu Chen's remains in a jade box, and buried them in the same place. This golden great axe was brought out by me, and has saved my life many times. Thank you for burying Yu Chen's remains. This golden great axe has saved you several times. Why are you still willing to bring this axe to me?" The blue-robed woman's voice was getting hoarser, but her sadness seemed to have been contained. Ning Cheng sadly said, "The reason why I came here, is because of the line of words that Senior left on the buckle. A woman who is so concerned about her husband, is the one that I respect the most. Being able to do these things for Senior, is my honor. Besides, as my cultivation improves, this golden great axe would not be enough to use. I think that this axe, leaving it at Senior's side, is the most appropriate. Do you know that the men who came here to me never came back alive? After I started living here, 3 men came here one after another, and the result was that those 3 men were all killed by me, and their bodies were hung at the entrance of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy." The blue-robed woman quietly looked at Ning Cheng, as she spoke in a calm tone. Ning Cheng was shocked in his heart. Could it be that this Master Shu, because of the disappearance of her husband, had turned into a person with an extreme personality? If he ended up being killed here, then it would truly be an injustice. If Senior really wants to kill me, then there is nothing I can do. Ning Cheng still spoke in a calm tone. He did not feel any killing intent from this blue-robed woman, indicating that the other party did not have any intention to kill him. Sure enough, the blue-robed woman did not continue to speak about this matter, and her tone became soft, as she looked at Ning Cheng and spoke, "The Miao clan had harmed my husband. I am no longer a person of the Miao clan. From now on I am called Lan Shu. Since you call Yu Chen as your elder brother, then you do not have to call me Senior, just call me elder sister Shu." "Yes, elder sister Shu." Ning Cheng was secretly relieved in his heart. Since she spoke like this, then there should not be any danger. "You can sit down first, I will ask you a few questions. First, how did you find this place?" Lan Shu motioned Ning Cheng to sit down and asked. Ning Cheng was also not polite. As he sat down and spoke, "It was a woman who knew elder sister Shu's residence who brought me here. She often comes here." Lan Shu nodded and spoke, "Ning Cheng, I do not know what kind of enmity you have with the person who brought you here. But you have to remember, the person who brought you here, wanted to borrow my hand to kill you. From now on you have to be careful of her." saying that she did not wait for Ning Qing to answer, as she continued, the first man who came here was called Lan Yuxing, he was Yu Chen's blood brother. No one knew that he was a beast. After he came here and saw me, the first thing he wanted to do was to rape me. But he did not know that I had already successfully broken my core, and condensed my soul essence, so he failed in his plot against me, and was killed by me instead. I killed him, and hung his body at the entrance of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. The second one was a peak soul essence elder of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. It was because the Yixing Ocean's cultivator army was about to attack the Lu continent. He wanted me to go out and help, to lead some of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy's disciples to participate in the war. At that time, I had just successfully sculpted my soul, and was cleaning my body. That elder's attainments in array formations was much higher than mine, and unexpectedly broke into my array formation without my consent. I was ashamed and angry, and immediately told him to fuck off. After that elder saw my body, not only did he not leave, but just like that Lan Yuxing, he also wanted to possess me. If not for me having just successfully sculpted my soul, I would have already been defiled by him. After I killed him, I also hung his body at the entrance of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Ning Qing gave a dark sigh in his heart. A woman who was too beautiful was also a problem. The key point was that this Lan Shu in front of him was simply too beautiful. That elder should have seen Lan Shu bathing, and was stunned by her beauty. As a result, it gave rise to evil thoughts. Lan Shu sighed and spoke. After that, I painstakingly studied array formations, and finally managed to advance the killing arrays to a step further. The third man who came to find me was a soul sculpting cultivator. His cultivation was in no way worse than mine. He came to find me, because he knew that I had a huge piece of true cosmic devil metal. True cosmic devil metal? Ning Qing subconsciously asked. He knew that this kind of material, it could be said to be the best of the best materials. It was even of a higher grade than the true burning star sand that he had obtained from Gue Yutang. But this kind of material that was refined into a magical weapon had a unique characteristic, that is, it would have a trace of devilish nature, and was most suitable for devil cultivators to use. If an ordinary cultivator used this kind of material to refine a magical weapon, then over a long period of time, there was a possibility that they would be eroded by the devilish nature, and would turn into a devil. Yes, true cosmic devil metal. Lan Shu nodded and spoke. This was something that I had prepared for Yu Chen. That person came to snatch this piece of true cosmic devil metal, and was killed by me using an array formation and burning my essence blood. Unfortunately, after I killed him, I was also paralyzed, the meridians in my body ruptured, and from then on I could only sit on a chair. But also because I killed those 3 people, after that there was never a man who came to look for me. You are the 4th man who came here to look for me. Ah. Ning Qing subconsciously looked at Lan Shu's legs, and in his heart came to understand. No wonder she had not gotten up until now, it was because her meridians were ruptured. At the same time, he was also secretly startled by this purple-robed woman's viciousness. He had thought that even if there was something strange, he would at most be taught a lesson, but who would have thought that she would still want to keep her life? Lan Shu spoke in a soft voice. I am saying these words to you, because I am grateful to you for sending Yu Chen's things, and also for helping Yu Chen to collect his remains. So this piece of true cosmic devil metal, I intend to give it to you. You can take it and refine it into an axe-type magical weapon. Ning Qing had not yet reacted, when Lan Shu raised her hand and took out a piece of light golden material that was 2 or 3 meters long and 1 meter wide. Ning Qing looked at this piece of light golden true cosmic devil metal, and was puzzled in his heart. Was this really the true cosmic devil metal? He immediately asked about his doubts. Elder Sister Shu, is this a devil metal? To be exact, this is the true cosmic devil metal. You should not think that all the devil metals are black in color. The true cosmic devil metal has true cosmic gold as its component. If you use this true cosmic devil metal to create an axe, then you do not need to add any other materials, it should be enough. Lan Shu once again spoke. But Elder Sister Shu, I heard that if you use the true cosmic devil metal to refine a magical weapon, then if you use it for a long time, then it will have a devilish nature, and finally turn into a devil cultivator, and not even be able to distinguish between green and red devils. Ning Qing spoke with some fear in his heart. Lan Shu spoke in a light voice, if you have a firm and strong Tao heart, then this true cosmic devil metal is just a magical weapon for you, and will not be able to control you. If you do not have a firm and strong Tao heart, and feel that you cannot control this true cosmic devil metal, then you can just sell it. I think that the earnings would be enough for you to cultivate to the profound core realm. Chapter 191. Many thanks for Elder Sister Shu's generous gift and teachings. Then, I will not be polite and accept it. When there's a chance, I'll look for a senior refining grandmaster to help me refine an axe. Ning Qing spoke as he unceremoniously put away this large piece of true cosmic devil metal. He already had a plan in his heart, although this true cosmic devil metal was very precious, but he would not lose out on this Elder Sister Shu. He did not believe that he had the mysterious yellow bead, and that his meridians had been reshaped by the mysterious yellow origin, so much so that he would not be swayed by a magical weapon. If that was the case, then he was too weak. It would be better to throw away the axe and obediently cultivate step by step. Lan Shu, seeing Ning Qing put away the true cosmic devil metal, gave a slight nod. She liked this kind of straightforward personality. She then took out a black wooden card and handed it to Ning Qing and spoke, if you want to find someone who can refine the true cosmic devil metal, then perhaps you would have to wait for a few hundred years before you would have the opportunity. Take this wooden tablet to Dragon and Phoenix City and look for Nongzhen from the Harvest Blacksmith Shop. Ask him to help you refine an axe. Ning Qing took the wooden sign and asked in disbelief, Elder Sister Shu, you want me to look for a blacksmith's shop to refine a level 9 magical weapon? What was even more bizarre was that this blacksmith shop was called Harvest Blacksmith Shop. You put away the wooden sign, and just follow my instructions, you don't have to worry about anything else. Lan Shu waved her hand. After saying that, she once again focused her attention on the golden great axe in her hands. After a while, she put the golden axe back into her ring. Sister Shu, Ning Qing had just opened his mouth when he was interrupted by Lan Shu. If I still had my cultivation, I would have taken you there. Alas, after sighing, Lan Shu seemed to have thought of something, and asked, Ning Qing, when you spoke about the buckle that I left for Yu Chen, why was your tone so gloomy? Ning Qing already knew that this elder sister Shu in front of him was the same as him, and was also a person with a direct temperament. As such, he simply did not conceal it and said, when I was in my hometown, there was a woman who was very close to me, but later I do not know why, but she suddenly ignored me, and left in front of me with another person who was pursuing her. When I saw how elder sister Shu treated brother Yu Chen, I felt something in my heart, that's why I acted like this. How can there be such a shameless woman? Lan Shu angrily said. Ning Qing opened his mouth, but did not have any way to explain. He wanted to say that this kind of thing was really nothing on earth. This was a different cultural atmosphere, and it was hard to explain. It was just that he had a feeling in his heart, and did not really resent Tian Mu Wan. Carrots and vegetables each had their own love. Once people got married, they could still divorce. Not to mention that he and Tian Mu Wan were just in love, and had not even developed to a deeper level. He decided that he would never mention Tian Mu Wan again. The last time an E had also said the same thing. It was as if he was looking for someone to complain to. There was simply no way to explain this kind of thing. The only thing he could not understand was why Tian Mu Wan was acting in such a manner. If Tian Mu Wan really thought that he was not worthy of her, then it would not matter. This kind of woman is really not worth your attention. Don't always take this kind of thing to heart, it will affect your cultivation. If you are still affected by this kind of thing in the future, then that piece of true cosmic devil metal, I really should not give it to you. Lan Shu said with a sigh. Ning Qing showed a faint smile, Elder Sister Shu, please do not worry about me. I already have a fiancé, and she is very good to me. That's for the best. My meridians are all shattered. I'm already very satisfied to be able to get news of Yu Chen before I leave. I also have a mask with me, you can take it. Remember to look for Nongzhen to refine an artifact, do not let others see you, and also do not let others recognize you. Lan Shu took out a wooden box and handed it to Ning Qing. Perhaps it was because Ning Qing brought news of her husband, or perhaps it was because Ning Qing had helped her husband collect his remains, but Lan Shu was especially kind to Ning Qing. Thank you, elder sister Shu. Ning Qing knew that Lan Shu was planning to send him off. After he took the mask, he took out a jade bottle and placed it on the bamboo table and said, Elder sister Shu, this is a small token of my appreciation, I ask elder sister Shu to not refuse it. This is. Lan Shu seemed to feel the aura inside the jade bottle, and spoke in a trembling voice. This is the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence that I obtained. I have a total of 2 bottles. If elder sister Shu is not enough, I still have a bottle here. Ning Qing quickly replied, Lan Shu's meridians were shattered, using the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence was the best thing for her. Ning Cheng's meridians were repaired and reshaped by 2 things, one was his mysterious yellow origin. He certainly could not give the mysterious yellow origin to Lan Shu, moreover even if he gave it to her it would not be convenient, so giving the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence was the most appropriate. It really is the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence. Enough, a bottle is simply not enough. Lan Shu trembled as she grabbed the jade bottle, and spoke with excitement. She still had a lot of things that she had not done, but because her meridians were completely shattered, there was no way for her to do it. But today, the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence that could repair her meridians suddenly appeared in front of her. How could she not be excited? Ning Qing knew that repairing the meridians was a secret matter. When he heard Lan Shu say that it was enough, he quickly said, Elder sister Shu, you can repair your meridians in peace, I will be leaving now. Wait. Lan Shu sobered up from her excitement, her eyes were filled with gratitude as she called out to Ning Qing. Ning Qing stopped and said, Elder sister Shu, please instruct me. Ning Qing, thank you, if you did not bring the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence, I would not be able to do a lot of things. Lan Shu's tone was even more gentle and kind. Ning Qing not only brought the relics of Yu Qian, but also helped her bring the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence that could reconstruct her meridians. In today's world, for a little bit of things, one could do anything. Ning Cheng's actions were very commendable. The amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence was not an ordinary thing, it was a priceless treasure. Although it was a rank 8 spiritual object, but its value was much higher than the average rank 9 spiritual objects. Ning Qing smiled and said, Elder sister Shu even gave me the true cosmic devil medal. What is a trivial bottle of amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence? This is not the same. Lan Shu shook her head and said. After a pause, she once again asked, where did you get the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence from? Ning Qing very honestly replied, speaking of this amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence, it has some relation to a disciple of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. I obtained an ancient inheritance ring in the Angry Axe Valley. This disciple wanted my ring, and as a result made a bet with me. He used 2 bottles of amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence as a bet, and as a result I won it. Lan Shu's complexion slightly changed. You said that you obtained the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy? That's right. You cannot go out, you have to stay here. Once people know that you have come to the Dragon and Phoenix City, moreover even have the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence on your body, even if you have many lives, it would not be enough. Do you know how precious the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence is? Later on you will understand. The disciple from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy who made the bet with you does not understand the preciousness of this thing, but those old guys from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy definitely know about it. Therefore, regardless of whether that disciple divulged this matter or not, you have to stay here, and cannot leave. Lan Shu's tone was getting more and more dignified. Ning Qing knew that the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence was very precious, but he did not care much about it. Now that he heard Lan Shu's words, he felt that this matter was not as simple as it seemed. But I came here to participate in the law's way. If I do not go out, wouldn't it mean that I cannot participate in the law's way? Ning Qing said in a distressed voice. Lan Shu thought for a moment and said, there is a kind of trust that is innate. When you entered this house, I felt that you are a trustworthy person. Just like how you trust me, I believe that this kind of trust is definitely not wrong. You stay here. After I reconstruct my meridians, I will take you to Nongzhen's place to refine an axe. On the day of entering the Law's Way, I will send you there. Ning Qing did not hesitate, he immediately agreed to Lan Shu's words. He thought that Lan Shu was worthy of his trust. This was just a feeling, there was no reason for it. Seeing Ning Qing agree, Lan Shu grabbed the bottle of amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence and said, I'm going to repair my meridians, you stay outside. Saying that, Lan Shu had already entered the right side of the house, leaving Ning Qing outside. Reconstructing the meridians to keep an outsider here was a form of trust within trust. When Lan Shu reconstructed her meridians, she still left Ning Qing here. In fact, she had already regarded Ning Qing as one of her own people. Ning Qing knew that the reconstruction of his meridians would only take a few days, as such he simply waited outside. When Nailan Rushue returned to Jia Lingwei's residence in a depressed mood, Zhang Sun Yan was the first to stand up and anxiously ask, Senior Apprentice Sister Rushue, I just heard from Elder Sister Lingwei that all the men who went to Master Shu's place would be killed. Did you really bring Senior Apprentice Brother Ning Qing to Master Shu's place? Nailan Rushue sighed and said, Yes, I really took him there. And I even saw him go in with my own eyes. Jia Lingwei sighed and spoke, Rushue, I think that Ning Qing is a good person, not only is he polite, but he also knows how to act appropriately. Junior Sister Rushue, with your beauty, maybe someone will offend you in the future. What I mean is. If it is not particularly serious, then do not bother with them. After all, it is only because I like him that I would offend him. Of course, this is only my personal opinion. Junior Sister Rushue, do not misunderstand, I actually do not know that Ning Qing. Nailan Rushue was silent, she did not intend to bother with Ning Qing, but that person was too shameless, making her unable to bear it. The oldest red-robed woman suddenly opened her mouth and spoke, Let's not talk about these things, this kind of person should be punished, otherwise he would only harm other women. The few of them deliberately diverted the topic, but Nailan Rushue's heart was somewhat stifled, and she also became a lot more silent. The next morning, she got up and said her goodbyes to Jia Lingwei. Originally she had intended to stay here for a few more days, but now she did not want to stay in this place. Jia Lingwei and the other two knew that Nailan Rushue was not in a good mood, and also no longer tried to persuade her. After the three of them sent Nailan Rushue to the entrance of the academy, they saw a group of people gathered there and chattering. Senior Apprentice Sister Lingwei, is there something interesting to see? Zhang Sun Yan was the first to ask with excitement. Jia Lingwei had not yet answered, when a disciple with the Cultivation of Essence building realm next to her spoke up, I heard that this morning a cultivator was nailed to death in the public square outside the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. Nailan Rushue's hands trembled, as her complexion became even more pale. Chapter 192. I do not accept any business today. The bald-headed man did not wait for Lan Shu to speak, and immediately refused. Ning Qing could already see that this Nongzhen and Lan Shu did not know each other. The reason why Lan Shu was able to force the other party to act was because of that wooden card. When Nongzhen started refining the true cosmic devil metal, he did not ask Ning Qing and Lan Shu to leave. However, he did not use the original flame. Instead, after throwing out a few array flags, he brought out a cyan-colored flame. Lan Shu motioned Ning Qing to take out the wooden card, and then threw the wooden card in front of the bald-headed man, Grandmaster Nong, just this once. You are also a Tier 4 True Pill Master. Lan Shu's crisp voice resounded. Ning Qing immediately discovered that Lan Shu had come out. Furthermore, she had changed into a light green dress, and even the hoarseness of her voice had disappeared. Ning Qing had always been thinking about this Luofei. Now that Lan Shu asked about it, he quickly replied, My fiancée is called Ji Luofei. Before I went to the Angry Axe Valley, she was waiting for me at the God Wind Academy in the Hua continent. But when I returned to the God Wind Academy was destroyed, and she was rescued by a friend of mine. Now I do not know where she is. I intend to come back from the Law's Way, and then return to the Hua continent to wait for her. As soon as this cyan-colored flame came out, Ning Qing felt his celestial river qi pulsating. He quickly suppressed the pulsating celestial river qi. Ning Cheng and Lan Shu were very clear in their hearts that the true cosmic devil metal could only be used to refine a medium-grade true artifact, saying that it had already been refined into a medium-grade true artifact would not be an exaggeration. Perhaps it was because the Law's Way was gathered from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy's public square. As such, there were a lot of people who came to this place, and all kinds of auctions were also held here and there to promote themselves. Seeing Lan Shu reveal a smile, Ning Cheng became sluggish for a moment. He had never thought that Lan Shu's smile would be so beautiful. Even the purple-robed woman could not compare to her beauty. Ning Cheng was very puzzled as to why Lan Shu would speak in such a manner, but he still gave an "n" sound and said, "Yes, elder sister Shu's smile is something that I have never seen before. This is a kind of intoxicating beauty." Looking at Lan Shu again, where was there even a shred of that kind of peerless beauty? In addition to her eyes that still had a kind of familiar charm, at this time Lan Shu had already turned into a middle-aged woman. Her face was covered in dust and had a slightly tired face, letting people to know at a glance that she was a rogue cultivator living at the lowest rung of society. The bald-headed man nodded and spoke, "Refining it into a high-grade spiritual artifact also has a weakness, that is, the true cosmic devil metal's devilish nature is much stronger. If one's mind is even a little bit worse, then they would be directly controlled by the true cosmic devil metal." Ning Cheng took out the large piece of true cosmic devil metal from his ring and threw it on the ground. Cosmic true devil metal. This man spoke with a moved look on his face, and then shook his head. "My artifact crafting level is limited. This cosmic true devil metal is estimated to be unable to be refined into a high-level magical weapon. If you must refine this true cosmic devil metal for me, then it would be a waste of it." This smithy wasn't small, but it had long been charred black by the smoke. Apart from the sound of the two bald youths hammering, there was no other sound in the shop. The bald-headed man, on seeing the wooden sign, finally raised his head, as he carefully sized up Ning Cheng and Lan Shu, and only after a good while did he put away the wooden sign and said, "What do you want to refine?" "Ning Cheng." Lan Shu called out. Seeing Ning Cheng looking at her, Lan Shu spoke, "My appearance-changing technique, compared to those concealment techniques is not bad at all. Even some of the higher-level cultivators would not necessarily be able to see through it. If you want to learn, then I can also teach you." Lan Shu did not get angry, and still spoke in a soft voice, "This is not your business, or perhaps it is because you think that I am too beautiful, that's why you are like this. Elder sister Shu, you're good." Ning Cheng put away the pill furnace, and spoke with joy. Lan Shu brought Ning Cheng to the corner of the house, and turned in through a small door in the corner. This small door was very inconspicuous, if not for Lan Shu leading the way, and not using her spiritual consciousness to check. Ning Cheng was sure that he would not have known that there was such a small door here. The bald man paused for a moment, and deliberately looked at Ning Cheng and Lan Shu, and then spoke, "But I can also refine this true cosmic devil metal into a high-grade spiritual artifact embryo. Although the appearance of this true cosmic devil metal is ugly, but at least it would not destroy the true cosmic devil metal, so after meeting a real refining expert, this true cosmic devil metal can then continue to be refined again. Once this true cosmic devil metal is refined into a best quality true artifact, or even something that surpasses a best quality true artifact, then it can be upgraded without limit." Originally Ning Cheng was planning to use some of the other materials in his hands, such as the exotic desolate extreme essence, the true burning star sand and the others, to let this master gnome refine a few small axes, but now he also took the initiative to drop it. Lan Shu took out a jade strip and handed it to Ning Cheng. "You take a look at this jade strip first. When we come back from refining artifacts, you can follow behind me and learn for a few days." Lan Shu saw that the level 3 true pill that Ning Cheng had refined was of an extremely high quality, and naturally thought that Ning Cheng was a tier 4 true pill master. The Dragon and Phoenix Academy was located in the Dragon and Phoenix City, but Ning Cheng had not seen the exterior of the Dragon and Phoenix City. Now that he was walking with Lan Shu in the Dragon and Phoenix City, in his heart he was secretly amazed at the prosperity of the Dragon and Phoenix City. After walking out of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy with Lan Shu, Ning Qing still could not believe it. Just by relying on Lan Shu's appearance-changing technique, he was able to turn into a 30-years-old thin uncle. Even if he used his own spiritual consciousness to investigate, it would be very difficult for him to find out whether it was real or fake. Lan Shu took Ning Qing through 7 or 8 turns, and soon left the bustling main street, and arrived at a very small alley. This made Ning Qing remember the residence of the white-haired old woman. Originally that white-haired old woman also lived in this kind of remote place. Could it be that these experts like to live in the corners? At the same time Ning Qing also sighed in his heart. The true cosmic devil metal could only be refined into a medium-grade true artifact. Moreover, it also required good luck. It could be seen that this Nongzhen was not a big refining Grand Master. Even if he was not a big refining Grand Master, he could still be so arrogant. From this it could be seen that a refining Grand Master was much more popular than a pill master. An axe. Lan Shu gestured towards Ning Qing. Those 3 men and 1 woman were dressed almost the same as Lan Shu, although their cultivations were not high, but they were very valiant. They should be relatively powerful adventurers. They were sitting there. It was estimated that they were waiting for the weapon that was being forged. Entering the blacksmith shop, Ning Qing saw that there were actually a lot of people inside. 3 men and a woman were sitting on the iron stools inside the blacksmith shop. 2 of them were bald-headed teenagers. One of them was working hard on the weapon in his hands, while the other one was using all his strength to pull the bellows. Ning Qing was sure that he was not mistaken. These 2 teenagers were hammering on the weapon. There was not even half a bit of spirit in it. After entering through the small door, Ning Qing saw a similarly bald-headed man, but his face was covered with a full beard. This man was calcining a piece of unremarkable material on top of the flame. Ning Qing did not recognize what this material was. But he was sure that this flame was not a powerful flame, but rather a very ordinary flame. Lan Shu unexpectedly revealed a smile, and, "Thank you for the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence. If not for the amethyst heaven-colored glaze essence, I would still be sitting on this chair." The bald-headed man pondered for a moment and said, "If my luck is good, then I can refine this true cosmic devil metal into a medium-grade true artifact, but later on this true cosmic devil metal would not be able to continue to be upgraded. In other words, it would be equivalent to me refining it to the point of ruining it. I want to learn." Ning Qing said without any hesitation. This thing was really too useful to him. "I want to find Master Nong to forge an axe. I want Master Nong to personally forge it," Lan Shu said in a very rough voice. Lan Shu motioned Ning Qing to sit down. She also sat down and said, "My cultivation method has the effect of retaining one's youthful appearance. It is the best cultivation method for a woman to cultivate. After you find Luofei, you can bring her to me. I will pass it on to her. Now, let's go to the blacksmith shop. Of course, before we go, we will have to change our appearance." 3 days quickly passed by. Ning Qing was not even half a bit anxious. He originally did not have anything to do. Staying in elder sister Shu's place to refine pills was also good. Now he did not even need to use pill arts to refine level 3 pills. In other words, he was now a true tier 3 true pill master. When Lan Shu and Ning Qing walked into the blacksmith shop, it did not arouse the strange gazes of the people inside. The 4 guests even looked at the 2 of them, while the 2 smithing teenagers were paying attention to the weapons being forged. Ning Qing calmly said, "Master Nong only needs to refine. If he cannot contain the devilish nature of the true cosmic devil metal, then that would be my problem." Sure enough, Ning Qing had just entered the small alley, when he heard a burst of clanking sounds of smithing. The sound was incomparably dense. It was obvious that the business was very good. "I know the rules," Lan Shu still replied in a rough voice. The smithing teenager looked up at Lan Shu and Ning Qing, and once again began to hammer the weapon embryo in his hands, while casually saying, asking the boss to forge the axe, "We do not accept gold coins and only accept spirit stones. The price is 10 times the price. First make a reservation, then take it." "Let's go in," the teenager casually said, as he continued to forge the weapon embryo in his hands. Ning Qing did not use his spiritual consciousness to check out this man. He felt that this man's cultivation was not worse than elder sister Shu's, and was even slightly better. At the same time, Ning Cheng was wondering in his heart, if elder sister Lan Shu was not here, and he alone took the true cosmic devil metal to refine a magical weapon, wouldn't he be cheated by this person? Even his small life would be difficult to protect. To what extent can you refine it? Lan Shu asked in a sinking voice. Arriving at the entrance where the clanking sounds were coming from, Ning Cheng finally saw a small inconspicuous sign, on top of which was written, Harvest Blacksmith Shop. Lan Shu gave a sigh and said, For me, these things are not important at the moment. When I first met Yu Chen, I was just a very ordinary-looking woman, but Yu Chen did not despise me. Let's not talk about this. Where is your fiancé now? Ning Cheng instantly understood that he was a bit rude, and spoke with some embarrassment. I'm sorry, elder sister Shu, I was a bit rude a moment ago. I only need a weapon embryo. Ning Cheng saw Lan Shu looking at him, and quickly spoke. A true artifact was still too high for him, as such he could not use it. A high-grade spiritual artifact was already enough. Moreover, if he could find a more powerful refining Grand Master, then the true cosmic devil metal could also be upgraded. Wouldn't that be even better? Chapter 193. The cyan-colored flame was Nongzhen's. Even if there was even the slightest change in the flame, he could clearly see it. Just a moment ago, Ning Cheng's star river had pulsated, which caused the cyan-colored flame to tremble. He immediately felt it, causing him to frown, and even looked at Ning Cheng. After a moment, he once again focused his attention on the cyan-colored flame. The star river was at the edge of Ning Cheng's Zifu. It was Ning Cheng's biggest secret apart from the mysterious yellow bead. He felt that this seed was not simple. Nongzhen looked at him, which made him warn the star river not to make any unusual movements. A large piece of true cosmic devil metal, under his control, fell onto the cyan-colored flame, as it gradually began to melt and decompose. A piece of ash was separated by the flame, while the true cosmic devil metal also gradually shrank. Nongzhen also stared at the shrinking true cosmic devil metal, as he continued to engrave some array formations and restrictions. Looking at Nongzhen's familiar technique of engraving restrictions, Ning Cheng found that the level of the other party's array formations and restrictions was far above his own. The impurities inside the true cosmic devil metal were constantly being removed by Nongzhen, while the shape of the cyan-colored flame constantly changed. Ning Cheng deliberately did not mention the shape of the axe. He knew that if he did not mention the shape of the axe, then it would be much smoother to refine it. As for the shape of the axe, he would have to refine it again in the future. As time passed, even Ning Cheng could feel a kind of violent aura emanating from the true cosmic devil metal. At this moment, Ning Cheng heard Lan Shu's sound transmission. Ning Cheng, the true cosmic devil metal has a very strong devilish nature. Moreover, this is a magical weapon embryo that has not seen blood. Once it matures, after seeing blood, this devilish nature would become even stronger. Are you sure you can control it? Ning Cheng showed a faint smile, and also spoke with a sound transmission. Elder sister Shu, rest assured, in my hometown there is a saying that goes, if the heart is calm then it will naturally be cool. Whether I turn into a devil or not depends on my heart. I am confident that I will not be afraid of a trivial magical weapon. If I could not even control a magical weapon, then I would not dare to think about going back in the future. Is your hometown very far away? Lan Shu asked in a puzzled voice, but after asking, she did not let Ning Cheng answer, and said, let's talk about this after we go out. I have a more important thing to say. Elder sister Shu, please speak. Ning Cheng did not intend to speak about his past in this place. Lan Shu gave an N sound. Ning Cheng, this is a magical weapon refined from the true cosmic devil metal. Even if it is just a high-grade spiritual artifact embryo, its power is not trivial. For you to go to the law's way, it would be a great help. But there is also a huge flaw, and that is, you must be mentally prepared. What flaws? Magical weapons refined from cosmic true devil metal. When you fight with others, there will be a leakage of devilish aura, causing others to regard you as a devil cultivator. In the Yixing mainland, devil cultivators are the existences that everyone wants to kill, so you must be careful. Therefore, I suggest that in addition to refining this cosmic true devil axe, you should also refine an ordinary axe. Lan Shunning spoke up. Ning Qing hesitated for a moment. If his cultivation was very high, then he would not be afraid of others misunderstanding him. But his cultivation was just at the essence-building realm. In the I Ching mainland, he was an existence that could be crushed to death with just a finger. Once he was treated as a street rat and everyone wanted to beat him up, it would not be good. You don't have to worry too much about it. The cosmic true devil axe is used to save your life. Once you use this axe, if possible, then kill the other party. If there are a lot of people, then you can use the appearance-changing technique, and also have the mask that I gave you. No one should be able to recognize you. Lan Shu, seeing Ning Qing was silent, spoke with a smile. Ning Qing then understood the meaning behind the mask that Lan Shu gave him, and quickly thanked her. Thank you, elder sister Shu, I understand. The path of cultivation is to pursue the heaven's way. You do not need to care about other people's eyes. When I was preparing this piece of cosmic true devil metal for Yu Chen, I had already thought of Yu Chen's bumpy road ahead. But even if the entire I Ching mainland's people do not understand him, I will still follow by his side. You are also the same. Do not give up on your own strength because of other people's eyes. Even if you are alone in the end, and no one will accompany you by your side, after you leave the I Ching mainland, you will find that becoming an immortal or a devil is only a matter of a thought. Lan Shu spoke in a soft voice. She was even more clear than Ning Qing, that without formidable strength, everything was false. Elder sister Shu, even if no one believes in me, Luofei will still follow by my side. I will not give up on my own strength because of such a trivial matter. Ning Qing spoke with certainty. Luofei's trust in him was very clear to Ning Qing, that no one could replace her. Even if the cosmic true devil axe truly had a demonic nature, and would be misunderstood by others, Ning Qing would still use it. He had enough of the pain of being suppressed by others. In this world, if one did not have strength, then one would not have any dignity. When he could use the cosmic true devil axe to sweep away everything, no one would dare to be long-winded in front of him. Otherwise, even if he held up a sign saying that he would kill all the devil cultivators, there would still be people who would cut him down with a sword. Lan Shu nodded, and did not speak again. On the fifth day, the cosmic true devil axe embryo that was under Nongzhen's control suddenly gave out a slight tremble, and even gave out a faint dragon roar. A powerful and tyrannical aura, accompanied by this slight tremble and the dragon roar, dispersed out. Nongzhen suddenly shouted, "Who wants to use this axe? Quickly sacrifice your essence blood to refine it. The demonic nature of this axe is too heavy. I am unable to become a weapon, and can only end up like this." Ning Qing immediately stood up, and was about to use his essence blood to refine it, when Lan Shu suddenly reached out and grabbed Ning Qing's arm. Her hand was also trembling. "Ning Qing, don't refine it. I underestimated the demonic nature of the cosmic true devil metal. This demonic nature is too strong. With your current cultivation you are still unable to control it. With this kind of demonic nature, after a long time, the cosmic true devil axe would even give birth to its own spiritual nature, forming a devil spirit. Once you are unable to control it, then at best you will become a puppet of the devil spirit. At worst, we will first seal this thing, and then auction it." At this moment, Ning Qing did not retreat, but Lan Shu was instead afraid. In front of her eyes, it was as if the scene of Ning Qing turning into a devil appeared, Ning Qing grasping a great axe indiscriminately, completely losing all rationality. Being strong was good, but being strong also did not allow one to take such a big risk. Ning Qing lightly patted Lan Shu's hand. "Elder sister Shu, you can rest assured, I have a hunch, this cosmic true devil axe is for me to use. Others would not be able to use it. I have my own beliefs and principles, as elder sister Shu had said to me before. It is just a thought. Elder sister Shu, please believe in me." Lan Shu let go of Ning Qing, but did not speak. She just nodded to Ning Qing and spoke. "Good, I believe in you." Ning Qing walked up, and directly spat out a mouthful of essence blood onto the true cosmic devil axe embryo, while simultaneously began to refine this great axe that had not yet fully taken shape. The reason why he was confident that he could suppress the cosmic true devil axe, was not because he was truly confident that his willpower was stronger than others. Rather, in addition to his willpower, he also had the mysterious yellow bead. Even if the demonic nature invaded his Zifu and eroded his consciousness, the mysterious yellow bead in his Zifu would be able to extinguish this demonic nature in a matter of seconds. The axe embryo that had not yet taken shape was taken over by Ning Cheng. Nongzhen put away the flame, and after taking a pill, he sat down on the side to restore his true essence. A day later, Ning Cheng stood up, as he stared at the great axe that he was holding in his hands. Ning Cheng, have you already refined it? Lan Shu felt that the demonic nature had weakened, as she asked in a pleasantly surprised voice. Nongzhen coldly spoke from the side, this is just an axe embryo, moreover I had just successfully refined it, and had used my essence blood to refine it. If I am not able to refine it in a day, then it would be better not to use this axe. Lan Shu ignored Nongzhen, and once again asked Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng gave a wry smile as he picked up the rough axe embryo in his hands and spoke, Elder Sister Shu, this thing is too rough, it is ugly to the point that it cannot be any uglier. Rather than saying that it was a great axe magical weapon, it would be better to say that it was an incomparably rough axe embryo, although the shape of the axe had taken shape, but it did not even have a sharp edge. The axe hilt was even more rough, the thickness was uneven. It was obviously a piece of pale golden material, but after it was refined, it had turned into a gray thing. It was incomparably ugly. Nongzhen sneered and said, don't be discontented, in the Yixing mainland, there are people who can refine the true cosmic devil metal into this appearance. Other than me, Nongzhen, you would not be able to find more than 10 people. Lan Shu quickly cupped her fists and thanked him, many thanks Master Nong. Ning Cheng also knew that his actions were not very respectful to this Nongzhen, as such he also quickly thanked him, many thanks Master Nong. Please do, I still have other things to do. Nongzhen unceremoniously issued an expulsion order. Lan Shu pulled Ning Cheng out of Nongzhen's house. Ning Cheng found that the two bald-headed youths were still hammering on the tool embryo, but the guests seemed to have changed a few times. When Ning Cheng and Lan Shu came out from the inside, no one was surprised. It was not until the two of them walked out of the blacksmith shop, that Ning Cheng asked, Elder Sister Shu, why did Nongzhen not accept the reward? Reward? That wooden card is the reward. That wooden card is very precious, I only know that it can make a person from the Nong family work once. Nongzhen is not the most powerful crafting grand master in the Nong family. I gave the wooden card to him, and let him work. It can be considered as me thinking highly of him. Lan Shu explained. Elder Sister Shu, I have a question to ask you. Before I heard you say that immortals and demons are only separated by a single thought. What does this immortal mean? Is it an immortal? Ning Cheng had long wanted to ask this question, although he had heard about immortals, but it was just a legend on earth. Lan Shu shook her head slightly and said, I do not know. When I obtained the true cosmic devil metal, I had seen an incomplete jade strip, and the jade strip mentioned immortals and demons. The Law's Way is also known as the Pseudo-Heaven's Way. If you want to enter the Law's Way, then presumably you also know about the Heaven's Way. I heard that after crossing the Heaven's Way, there is another plane. This plane has some connection with the immortals, but it is not completely. Even if it is me, it is also very vague. Perhaps in the future when we cross the Heaven's Way, then we would really know what is going on. Ning Cheng just casually asked, and did not think that he would definitely get an answer. Seeing Lan Shu speak like that, he did not care about it, and just asked, Elder Sister Shu, how about I find a place to live in the Dragon and Phoenix City? No, you still have to live with me, I still have to teach you a few things. These days in the Dragon and Phoenix City there are all kinds of auctions everywhere. Let's go to the auctions to have a look, and see if we can help you find a suitable magical weapon. As Lan Shu finished, she once again remembered the matter that she wanted to ask Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng, you said that you want to go back to your hometown. Where is your hometown? Is it not the Yixing mainland? Chapter 194. No. It is a very distant place, I am not able to explain it clearly for a while. Ning Cheng really did not know how to explain it to Lan Shu. Lan Shu did not think much of it and said, then let's talk about it later. Lan Shu's words came to an abrupt end, while simultaneously pulling Ning Cheng back. Ning Cheng stopped and looked at Lan Shu in doubt, but found that Lan Shu's eyes unexpectedly had a trace of fear. He subconsciously glanced at the direction that Lan Shu was looking at. The bustling street in front of him was filled with people coming and going. It did not seem to be anything special. "Elder Sister Shu, what's wrong?" Ning Qing carefully asked with a sound transmission. Lan Shu once again looked at the street in front of them, and then quickly spoke. "Ning Qing, let's go back first. We will not be going to the auction. When the time comes you can go to the equipment pavilion to buy an axe." Ning Qing knew that Lan Shu had definitely seen something, as he quickly nodded, and quickly followed behind Lan Shu as they quickly returned to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. The two people once again returned to Lan Shu's room. After Lan Shu completely activated the array formation, she finally let out a sigh of relief. Ning Qing was just about to ask what was going on, when he heard a voice coming from the outside. Dragon and Phoenix Academy's Chu Yingguang greets junior apprentice Sister Shu, and also asks junior apprentice Sister Shu about a matter. "A few days ago, a cultivator was nailed to death in my Dragon and Phoenix Academy's Grand Plaza. May I ask if it was done by junior apprentice Sister Shu? Don't come to me for anything in the future." Lan Shu's tone was completely devoid of any emotion. It did not have the kind of gentleness that she had when she spoke to Ning Qing. Moreover, she did not have even half a shred of intention to answer the other party. "Yes, Chu Yingguang will take his leave." After this sentence, there was no more sound coming from outside. It was as if the person who asked the question had already gotten the answer. Lan Shu simply did not care about the matter of Chu Yingguang's visit, and still spoke with some lingering fear. "Just a moment ago I saw a demon on the street. I do not know his name, but I am sure that he was the most terrible demon that I have ever seen." Before Ning Qing could ask anything, Lan Shu suddenly looked at Ning Qing and asked, "Ning Qing, before on the street there was a tall man with a pale face. Did you see him?" Hearing Lan Shu speak about this characteristic, Ning Qing immediately thought of it, and then said, "Yes, Elder Sister Shu, I have seen such a person. Moreover, his cultivation seemed to be very high." At that time, when he saw that Lan Shu's voice had abruptly stopped, he had paid special attention to the opposite street. Although there were many people coming and going, he still had an impression of that pale-faced man. If you see this person in the future, you must stay as far away from him as possible. No one knows how terrible he is, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Lan Shu's voice had eased a lot, but Ning Qing could still feel the fear in her tone. The Lu continent originally had an academy called the Homeless Academy. The Homeless Academy was founded by a female cultivator who was abandoned by the academy, and the entire academy was made up of female cultivators. The Homeless Academy was not a big sect in the Lu continent, and was only a 6-star academy. This 6-star academy was completely destroyed by that person. As Lan Shu spoke, it seemed as if she was recalling the scene from that time, as her eyes still had some fear. Ning Qing was somewhat puzzled in his heart. Lan Shu was able to kill the male cultivator who had offended her and hang him at the entrance of the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. It showed that she was not a timid person. What kind of matter could make her have such an expression? "He's not human, he's a complete demon." Except for a little girl, he killed all the female cultivators in the Homeless Academy. He collected the blood of these female cultivators, and even insulted the corpses one by one. He is simply a beast. Lan Shu seemed to have recalled the terrible bloody scene from that time. Ning Qing quickly spoke up, "Elder Sister Shu." Lan Shu recovered. As her complexion turned a bit better, she nodded to Ning Qing and continued, "I happened to be hiding outside the Homeless Academy. Originally I wanted to go to the Homeless Academy to take care of some matters, but then I saw such a bloody scene. But when I came to know the reason why that demon destroyed the entire Homeless Academy, I couldn't even believe it. He killed all the people in the Homeless Academy, but only left behind a little girl who was about 10 years old. When he was about to leave, he lifted the little girl up and said, 'Little thing, do you know the consequences of saying that I am ugly?' Saying that, he took out a sharp knife, and inserted it into the little girl's heart, and then directly threw the little girl into the depths of the mountain stream. That beast! Ning Qing clenched his fists. If he could kill this person, then he would immediately go and kill him. After Lan Shu spoke about this matter, her heart seemed to have slightly eased up. "Ning Qing, I can't see through this person's cultivation. I estimate that he was already above the sea opening realm." I was in the vicinity of the homeless academy at that time, but in the face of this demon, I was unable to remain calm. In order to avoid being discovered by this demon, I deliberately brought you back. If you have the opportunity to kill him in the future, remember to help the homeless academy take revenge, and kill this beast. Lan Shu did not say anything about her relationship with the homeless academy, but Ning Cheng had already vaguely guessed that Lan Shu and the homeless academy had some kind of relationship. This kind of non-human beast, even if Lan Shu did not say anything about it, when Ning Cheng had the strength, he would definitely kill this beast. Elder sister Shu, you can rest assured, when I have the strength in the future, I will definitely kill this person. Ning Cheng spoke with certainty. Lan Shu nodded. Ning Cheng, you have the cosmic true devil axe, now you can follow me and learn the appearance-changing technique. Remember, inside the law's way, do not be anxious to come out. Some people stay inside and advance to the soul essence realm before coming out. You do not have to worry about it. The laws of the heaven and earth inside the law's way are complete. It is the most suitable place to cultivate and comprehend the Tao charm of the various magic techniques. Once you understand the true essence of the laws of the heaven and earth, in the future when you cultivate, you will be able to achieve half the results with half the effort. Moreover, your magic techniques will also be more perfect and powerful than others. The day before the law's way was about to open, Ning Cheng bid farewell to Lan Shu. He wanted to buy an attack-type spiritual artifact. If there was a defensive-type magical artifact, then he also intended to buy one. Lan Shu did not send Ning Cheng off. She knew that among the people who were going to the law's way, their cultivation was much higher than hers. She only had the cultivation of early-stage soul-sculpting realm. Even if she had the appearance-changing technique, it would still be very easy for people to discover her. Although the spiritual treasure house was not famous in the Dragon and Phoenix City, but it was also not small, but many of the cultivators in the Dragon and Phoenix City liked to go to the spiritual treasure house. It was mainly because the spiritual treasure house had a complete set of magical artifacts. Moreover, the price was relatively cheap. Ning Cheng was currently in the spiritual treasure house. He originally wanted to buy an axe, but he was instead attracted by a spear. This long spear was just a medium-grade spiritual artifact. It was completely black in color, and looked extremely comfortable to wield. It was a lot better looking than his cosmic true devil axe. At the end of the spear was engraved the words "Profound Break." Moreover, the price tag was also not much pressure on Ning Cheng. It was only 300,000 high-grade spirit stones. Ning Cheng directly took out 300,000 spirit stones to buy this spear. The shop assistant of the spiritual treasure house, on seeing Ning Cheng buy things in such a straightforward manner, immediately knew that Ning Cheng was a rich lord. After he very thoughtfully wrapped the spear in the bag to Ning Cheng, he enthusiastically introduced it. The spiritual treasure house is currently holding an exhibition of defensive magical artifacts. If this friend is interested, then you can go and have a look. Where is it? Ning Cheng was just thinking of buying a defensive magical artifact. Now that this shop assistant took the initiative to introduce it, he immediately asked. It's upstairs. The shop assistant said as he pointed to the stairs. There were many cultivators coming and going from the stairwell. Ning Cheng quickly thanked him, and quickened his pace up the stairs. After going upstairs, Ning Cheng saw a spacious hall with a variety of defensive magical artifacts. He knew that he had come to the right place. He immediately took a fancy to a treasure cauldron. This cauldron had the words "Heaven and Earth Cauldron" engraved on its surface. It looked extremely attractive. Ning Cheng took a fancy to this Heaven and Earth Cauldron. In addition to its appearance, it was also because in the ancient legends of China, the Heaven and Earth Cauldron was something used by old ancestor Hung Jun. Moreover, it was a primal chaos treasure. Ning Cheng knew that this was only a legend on Earth, and also knew that the Heaven and Earth Cauldron in front of him was not the one he was thinking of, but he still wanted to buy this Heaven and Earth Cauldron. There were many defensive magical artifacts in this place, and there were also many cultivators crowding outside to watch. Ning Cheng finally managed to squeeze himself in front of the Heaven and Earth Cauldron, as he pointed to the Heaven and Earth Cauldron and spoke in a loud voice, "Boss, I want this cauldron." This Heaven and Earth Cauldron was a high-grade defensive magical artifact, and its price was 800,000 high-grade spirit stones. This price was also within Ning Cheng's acceptable range. "I have already taken a fancy to this Heaven and Earth Cauldron," I want it. Another voice sounded from beside Ning Cheng. Apparently this person had taken a fancy to the same thing as Ning Cheng. Chapter 195. Ning Cheng looked back at the person who was trying to snatch his things. When he saw who this person was, his scalp suddenly went numb. He had a very tall stature, with a pale face. Wasn't this the devil that Lan Shu was talking about? How could this beast in his eyes come here to compete with him for the heaven and earth cauldron? Something's wrong, Ning Cheng immediately reacted. When he came here a moment ago, he did not see this person. This person came after him, that is to say, this person came specifically for him. The opposite party was such a powerful expert, how could he snatch a high-grade defensive spiritual artifact from him? Ning Cheng immediately knew that this person should have come for Lan Shu. When Lan Shu saw this person for the first time, she immediately retracted her gaze because of fear, and then hurriedly took a detour back to the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. It was definitely Lan Shu's unusual actions that made this person suspicious, but he did not know why he did not look for Lan Shu at that time, but after so many days, he unexpectedly found him. Such a powerful person, for him, Lan Shu, this stranger, was frightened by him, and then immediately left, but was still caught by him. Even after such a long time, he could still remember his appearance. One must know that at that time, he had only glanced at this person, moreover this person had not even looked at him. These thoughts quickly turned in Ning Cheng's mind, and soon Ning Cheng recovered. He did not give up the heaven and earth cauldron to this pale-faced person. If he did so, it would show that he and Lan Shu were afraid of him. Perhaps he would even go even harder to find Lan Shu. He did not look for Lan Shu, indicating that he did not react at that time, so he did not follow him and Lan Shu on the spot. Since he did not follow them at that time, then it meant that he did not know that Lan Shu lived in the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. As long as Lan Shu did not come out, or if she did not use her original attire, then this person would not necessarily be able to recognize Lan Shu. Thinking that this person should have thought that something was wrong after the fact, Ning Cheng's heart calmed down. He deliberately frowned and said, "Friend, when I said that I wanted it, you did not even open your mouth. You have been here for a long time, and did not buy this heaven and earth cauldron, but when I wanted to buy it, you also wanted to buy it. Is it possible that you are one of the people in this shop? Are you deliberately working together to raise the price?" Ning Cheng's words were not nonsense. The reason why the spiritual treasure building held a magical weapon exhibition was to let people bid for the same item. It was not impossible to find someone to deliberately compete with the buyer for an item. Hearing Ning Cheng's words, the shop assistant who was responsible for selling this piece of magical weapon hurriedly cried out in grievance, "This friend, please do not speak irresponsibly. Just a moment ago the guest who wanted the heaven and earth cauldron is not from my spiritual treasure house. My spiritual treasure house is fair and just, and would never engage in any dishonest practices." The pale-faced man sneered and said, "I want to buy this heaven and earth cauldron openly, but you don't dare to buy it openly." When Ning Cheng heard these words, he immediately understood that the other party had already seen through his disguise, causing him to feel a bit surprised in his heart. He did not know if this person was able to see through Lan Shu's disguise. But thinking about it, he should not be able to see it. At that time there was still a bit of distance. Moreover, this guy did not care about Lan Shu at that time. Or perhaps he only thought about it afterwards, and guessed that Lan Shu did not change her appearance. "Since this thing is in the exhibition hall, then you can bid for it. Since you said that you came here first, then you can name your price." Ning Cheng spoke in an aggressive manner. Yes. Since everyone has taken a liking to it, let's start the bidding." The shop assistant at this time reacted very quickly, and immediately began to encourage Ning Cheng and the pale-faced man to bid against each other. The pale-faced man swept a glance at Ning Cheng, and casually spoke, "I bid 800,000 spirit stones." As long as Ning Cheng dared to add a single spirit stone, he would immediately find trouble with Ning Cheng, and take Ning Cheng away. If he wanted to find an excuse, then it would be too simple. Ning Cheng suddenly politely asked the shop assistant, "Excuse me, I have just bought a medium-grade spiritual artifact from you, but now I do not have enough spirit stones. Can you take it back?" The shop assistant gave a fake smile and said, "You can take it back, but you will need to give a discount." "But I have not used it, I have not even refined it," Ning Qing said in a wronged voice. The shop assistant still smiled and said, "Then there is no other way, this is the rule of our spiritual treasure house. Since that is the case, then forget it, I only have 600,000 spirit stones on me, originally I wanted to lower the price, but now I can only give up," Ning Qing said with a bitter face, as he turned around and quickly went downstairs. The surrounding people burst into laughter. It was obvious that they were laughing at Ning Cheng's anticlimactic ending. The pale-faced man did not think that Ning Cheng would not even add a single spirit stone, and directly gave it to him, causing him to suddenly frown. He casually threw out a storage bag and said, "This is 800,000 spirit stones, quickly give it to me." "Yes, yes." The shop assistant quickly put away the spirit stones, and then took out the heaven and earth cauldron and wrapped it up before sending it to the pale-faced man's hands. The pale-faced man grabbed the things, and quickly rushed out of the spiritual treasure house. When he thought that Ning Cheng was going to escape in a hurry, he found that Ning Cheng was walking together with an old man. Moreover, the old man's cultivation was not worse than his, causing him to suddenly slow down, while at the same time muttered to himself in doubt, was it just an illusion? However, regardless of whether it was an illusion or not, he had already decided to take Ning Cheng away, and ask him clearly before killing him. His rule of conduct was, even if he could make a mistake, he would never give up on even a little bit of suspicion. "This senior must be from my 9 continents cultivator army." Ning Cheng caught up with the old man, and spoke in a respectful tone, while at the same time with a trace of respect. "Do you recognize me?" The old man looked at Ning Cheng with a puzzled look. Ning Cheng only had the cultivation of essence-building realm, moreover he had also changed his appearance, but he was sure that he did not have any impression of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng quickly spoke in a terrified manner, "This junior is just a junior commander of the Jia Continent's cultivator army, because this junior felt a kind of awe-inspiring righteousness from senior's body, it is precisely the fearless righteousness of the cultivator army's commander. This junior's heart was filled with admiration, so I specifically came to greet you, and at the same time express this junior's feelings of respect." The old man was very happy with Ning Cheng's words, and even forgot about the matter of Ning Cheng's appearance, as he nodded and spoke. "Yes, you really do have a bit of vision. But the people from my 9 continents cultivator army, all have this kind of awe-inspiring righteousness, for you to be able to recognize this commander is also normal. You are a junior commander of the Jia Continent's cultivator army, presumably you are also here to participate in the law's way? For an essence-building cultivator like Ning Cheng to take the initiative to come and speak to him, moreover even his tone was somewhat trembling with excitement, it was definitely because of his admiration. The old man did not think too much about it. How could he know that Ning Cheng had already seen him? When Ning Cheng had just come down from the ship, he had seen Kong Peng Peng and the other generals of the Jia continent carefully following behind him. Ning Cheng guessed that this old man would not have noticed him at that time. Even if he had noticed him, now that he had changed his appearance, he would not necessarily be able to distinguish him. Yes, this junior is here to participate in the law's way. My commander had told me that when I go out to the Dragon and Phoenix City, I must change my appearance, lest I teach a lesson to those so-called disciples from the big academies, and then they would come looking for me. Speaking till here, Ning Cheng somewhat embarrassedly scratched his head, so this junior had also changed his appearance, but after walking around for a long time, I did not come across any conflict with the disciples from the big academies. Although his words were very bashful, but Ning Cheng was secretly despising him in his heart. The 9 continents cultivator army also had an awe-inspiring righteousness, so forget it. Ha ha. The old man laughed. Interesting, this commander of yours is really interesting. The ship from the Law's Way is about to arrive, you and I will go to the Dragon and Phoenix Plaza to board the ship. Ning Cheng was overjoyed in his heart. He had spoken for a long time just to ask for this sentence. Now that the old man had said it, he quickly replied in a respectful manner, "Many thanks, Lord Commander, this is this junior's honor." The pale-faced man in the distance finally stopped his footsteps. He was sure that Ning Cheng and the old man had a very familiar relationship. Although he did not know why, but he was sure that at least for now he could not make a move against Ning Cheng. Even if he wanted to make a move, he would have to wait for Ning Cheng to appear alone. Unfortunately, he did not know that Ning Cheng would appear alone again, after he came out of the law's way. Ning Cheng followed the old man all the way to the Dragon and Phoenix Plaza. He immediately knew that he was already safe. That pale-faced devil, even if he was a bull, he would not dare to show off his prestige in the Dragon and Phoenix Plaza. This old man was definitely a high-ranking person of the cultivator army. Continuing to follow behind him would not be appropriate, so once they arrived at the plaza, Ning Cheng quickly bowed and spoke, "Many thanks Lord Commander for allowing this junior to follow you. This junior has benefited a lot. Now this junior will go to the Jia continent's army to assemble." The old man nodded and said, "Well, you are very good, you speak well, moreover you have a straightforward personality. I hope that you can come out of the law's way, and live up to your reputation as a commander." Ning Cheng laughed in his heart. This commander was also interesting. Just by flattering him with a few words, he felt that he was very straightforward. It seems that even if he cultivated to a very high realm, he would still like others to speak well of him. Ning Cheng had already seen Kong Peng Peng anxiously pacing back and forth. Knowing that he was waiting for him, he quickly went over and spoke, "General Kong, I have offended a powerful person from a big academy in the Dragon and Phoenix City, so I changed my appearance." Kong Peng Peng saw Ning Cheng. With just a few words from Ning Cheng, he immediately understood Ning Cheng's difficulties. Exchanging a glance with Ning Cheng, he then walked over to Ning Cheng's side and put a jade card into Ning Cheng's hands and spoke, "I can only stop here. When the time comes for the boat to go to the law's way, you can board the boat yourself, and use this identity jade card to enter the law's way. Every 5 years, I will come to the Dragon and Phoenix City and wait for you. Inside the law's way, you have to be careful. Many thanks, General." Ning Cheng was very grateful to Kong Peng Peng in his heart. Without Kong Peng Peng, he would not have been able to come to the Lu continent, not to mention going to the law's way. Kong Peng Peng had a straightforward personality, and was someone worth making friends with. Ning Cheng really wanted to give Kong Peng Peng some of the things in his hands to Meng Jingxiu, but when he thought of Meng Jingxiu's mother, Ning Cheng decided to forget about it. As for giving Kong Peng Peng a letter to Lan Shu, Ning Cheng thought about it again, and chose to give up. Lan Shu knew the gravity of the situation. If she did not bring a letter then it would be good, but once she brought a letter, then maybe she would be exposed. Besides, Kong Peng Peng was a pervert. If he saw Lan Shu, then he might as well throw away his life. After Kong Peng Peng handed the jade card to Ning Cheng, he immediately walked away, and took the initiative to talk to the other few generals. Obviously he also knew that casually offending a disciple from a big academy in the Lu continent was not a good thing. Once Ning Cheng was discovered, he would not necessarily be able to settle it. Chapter 196. Ning Cheng also saw a few acquaintances, Guiyu Tang and Cui Nieping, but these two people already had the cultivation of early-stage profound congealing realm. The purple-dressed woman called Rushue was also there. She looked around, but no one knew what she was looking at. Although she was still wearing a veil on her face, there were more than a dozen women wearing veils on the square, so she did not stand out. Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sun Yan were also present, but what made Ning Cheng feel strange was that the two of them and the purple-robed woman were unexpectedly not talking to each other. In addition to this, Ning Cheng also saw the person who was always together with Yong Gu Yun. For this kind of small character, Ning Cheng simply did not put them in his eyes. Ning Cheng's gaze swept over, and once again saw the disciple of the Yu sect, Yang Shuhui, who had a good impression of him. But at this time, Yang Shuhui was already at Essence Building 6th level. In just 2 years, Yang Shuhui had advanced from True Condensation 9th level to Essence Building 6th level. Her advancement was unexpectedly not any worse than that purple-robed woman from the Wu Yan Academy. It was just that Ning Cheng did not have a favorable impression towards dual cultivation academies. As such, he also did not have a favorable impression towards the disciples of dual cultivation academies. Jiao Jiao. Ning Cheng almost wanted to step forward, when a woman wearing a watercolored robe appeared in front of his eyes. It was that Jiao Jiao from the tomb. This woman was vicious and merciless. She killed the green-robed woman with just a raise of her hand. Not only that, she and Sikong Kai were lovers. As long as it was a woman captured by Sikong Kai, she would kill them. Now that she appeared here, she must have known that Sikong Kai was killed. He did not know which academy this woman represented to enter the law's way, but she still managed to get a quota. The killing intent in Ning Cheng's heart flashed. He decided to kill this woman in the law's way. Seemingly feeling Ning Cheng's killing intent, this woman called Jiao Jiao unexpectedly turned around to look at Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng quickly lowered his head. At this time he did not want to expose himself. There were a lot of people who wanted to kill him in the law's way, not to mention that there were definitely people from the Yixing Ocean who wanted to kill him, even that Ni Gang would not let him off. At this time, Ni Gang was also looking around, apparently looking for traces of Ning Cheng. A whistling black shadow approached from afar. In just a moment, it landed on the Dragon and Phoenix Square. The airship has arrived. All the disciples of the Law's Way must immediately board the airship and go to the Law's Way. When a middle-aged man saw the flying ship stop in the middle of the square, he immediately flew into the air and shouted. 500 to 600 disciples from the various academies who were heading towards the Law's Way, along with the cultivator officers, one after another boarded the airship, while Ning Cheng also followed behind them and boarded the airship. Ning Cheng felt that this airship was somewhat different from an ordinary airship, but he was not able to tell what was different about it. After all the people boarded the airship's hatch immediately closed. Ning Cheng consciously found a corner and sat down. In addition to the essence-building cultivators, there were also profound congealing cultivators and profound core cultivators participating in the Law's Way. If he didn't want to be meddlesome, it would be best to find a place to sit by himself. Ning Cheng had just sat down when the airship gave a slight tremor, allowing everyone to know that the airship had already started moving. The people on board wanted to take a look at the scene outside, and wanted to see where they could enter the Law's Way from, but the ship was completely sealed off. As such, they were simply unable to sweep out with their spiritual consciousness. Under the situation of idleness, some of the familiar cultivators inside the ship gathered together to discuss the situation inside the Law's Way with each other. Since there were no acquaintances among them, they all, like Ning Cheng, found a separate corner and sat down. The entrance to the Law's Way seemed to be very far away. Even after the airship had flown for half a day, it was still flying. Everyone, the Law's Way has always been filled with death and life. Not to mention that there are many seniors inside the Law's Way, but this time the cultivators from the Yixing Ocean have joined the Law's Way, which would increase the threat to us even more. If you want to survive inside the Law's Way, then I think that everyone would have to unite together, and form a team. I am Feng Province's extreme intent weapons sect Suojian. If you are willing to form a team with me, then stand on my side. A passionate voice interrupted Ning Cheng's thoughts. Ning Cheng saw that the speaker was a middle-aged male cultivator, with a square face and arched eyebrows, but he already had the cultivation of profound core 5th level, which was far higher than him. Elder brothers were forming a team. I am the first to agree. I am willing to join Elder brothers' team. Zuojian's voice had just fallen, when someone immediately agreed to join. With the first, there was a second, and soon Zuojian's team had more than a dozen people. With Zuojian taking the lead in forming a team, some of the profound core cultivators from the slightly bigger academies also followed suit. For a time, the entire cabin hall was filled with people forming teams. Although the Law's Way allowed profound core cultivators to participate, but the fact was that there were not many profound core cultivators. At most they only occupied 1/10 of the total number of people. This was not because the major academies did not have many profound core cultivators, but rather all the academies were well aware of the preciousness of the quotas for the Law's Way. To join the Law's Way, one would need to have a certain level of comprehension and aptitude. If one did not have the aptitude, then joining the Law's Way would be equivalent to a tortoise eating barley and wasting food. Such a precious quota should naturally be given to the disciple with the best aptitude and comprehension ability in the sect. After these disciples entered the Law's Way, with a certain amount of cultivation resources, they would soon be able to advance to the profound core realm, and become a powerhouse inside the Law's Way. Compared to entering the law's way after entering the profound core, it was much more direct, and much more valuable. In just over an hour, the noise in the cabin quieted down again. Apart from a very small number of people, most of them had already formed teams. Some of the disciples from the 9-star academies were not participating alone, as such they could form half a team within their respective academies. This elder brother, this little sister Hang Jiao, I see that you are the same as this little sister, and have not formed a team with anyone yet. Why don't we pull a few people together to form a team? A woman with a rich fragrance came over to Ning Cheng's side, as she spoke in a flirtatious and dependent tone, which made people unable to bear to refuse. This kind of fragrance definitely had a kind of woman's charm, as a faintly discernible and provocative flavor spread out. Several of the essence-building cultivators nearby even subconsciously moved closer to this woman. Ning Cheng had long wanted to kill this woman, but he did not expect that this woman would dare to come close to him. He suddenly stood up, and spoke in a cold voice, "Get lost." Because of Ning Cheng's words, the entire cabin suddenly turned silent for a moment. A good-looking profound congealing female cultivator took the initiative to find an essence-building cultivator to form a team. If this essence-building cultivator did not agree to it, then it would have been fine, but this essence-building cultivator actually said a single word, "Get lost." This was simply too rude. It was to the point that he did not even put a female cultivator in his eyes. Hang Jiao's complexion also changed. She did not expect that an ant would actually tell her to get lost. But she immediately knew what she had to do, as her eyes turned red, and unexpectedly lowered her head and started sobbing. If you do not want to form a team, then just tell the others. Why did you tell people to get lost? Did your teacher teach you to be so rude? What Ning Cheng did not expect was that the first one to jump out to defend the injustice was unexpectedly the Wunyan Academy's purple-robed woman called Ru Shui. This woman's control was simply too broad. All the people here could come out to defend the injustice, but she should not have come out. One had to know that she was almost killed by this Hang Jiao's sword. She really was blind, and did not know the difference between right and wrong. When Ning Cheng scolded Hang Jiao, no one was willing to stand up, but when the purple-robed woman from the Wunyan Academy came out, someone immediately stood up. A man with the same cultivation of profound core realm coldly snorted and said, "Just a trivial essence-building cultivator, and yet still dare to be so arrogant? I am K Penghai from the Red Heaven Academy. Today I want you to join my team. Do you want to join or not?" Even if he had lived 2 lives, and Ning Cheng had become more worldly, calm and patient, but he was still at the age where he was young and full of vigor. After hearing these words, his blood was immediately aroused, his murderous intent overflowed, and he spoke in a cold voice, "This young master will not join today. What can you do about it?" He had already killed 4 people from the Red Heaven Academy in the Angry Axe Valley, but there was still this kind of arrogant person. It could be seen that this academy was not a good bird academy. "Good, this father wants to teach you a lesson today. Let's see what you can do about it," K Penghai said as he unexpectedly took a step forward, and was about to attack Ning Cheng. Such great prestige. A profound core cultivator, wanting to fight with an essence-building cultivator, bah. Another crisp voice rang out, causing K Penghai's footsteps to stop in time. "So it is Blue Cloud Academy's junior apprentice sister Yan Ji. This person was incomparably arrogant a moment ago. I could not stand it, and was just about to teach him a lesson." Although K Penghai was calling her as junior apprentice sister, but his tone had become extremely cautious and polite. Ning Cheng had already calmed down. He knew that he was a bit impulsive a moment ago, and in the case of a fight, facing a profound core cultivator, he would definitely suffer. He did not even have the opportunity to fight back, before he was completely bound. Chapter 197. Blue Cloud Academy's Yan Ji. Ning Cheng was puzzled in his heart. He had never heard of this academy, let alone had any friendship with it, so why would this Yan Ji speak up for him? This Yan Ji was also similar to the purple-robed woman, with a veil covering her face, but from her bright and delicate eyes, Ning Cheng could see that this woman was definitely not worse than the purple-robed woman. She was probably the same as the purple-dressed woman. She was so beautiful that she had no choice but to cover her face with a scarf. Senior apprentice Sister G, this person spoke so viciously to a woman, I could not bear to listen to it, so. The purple-robed woman obviously knew Yan Ji, and hearing Yan Ji speak up for her, she quickly tried to explain. Yan Ji directly interrupted the words of the purple-robed woman and spoke up in a calm voice, Junior apprentice Sister Rushua, I was also here a moment ago, and I also saw it very clearly. You don't need to tell me about it. Everyone's eyes represent their own hearts. Although it's the same thing, it's just that we see different things. Nalan Rushua's words were interrupted by Yan Ji, causing her to feel slightly uncomfortable in her heart. However, she did not say anything. Kei Penghai on seeing this, also knew that it would not be good to continue looking for trouble with Ning Cheng, as such he just gave an awkward smile and returned to his team. Haha, Junior Apprentice Sister Rushua and Junior Apprentice Sister Yan Ji are known as the Lu Continent's twin lotus flowers, and are extremely good friends. Why would you want to be unhappy because of an unrelated person? A loud laughter broke the silence, but it made Nalan Rushua even more embarrassed. She and Yan Ji were both peerless beauties, and were known as the Lu Continent's twin lotus flowers. However, Yan Ji and her code of conduct were completely different. The two of them had known each other for a long time, but they had never become friends, let alone best friends. Ning Cheng noticed that the person who was laughing out loud was a very young and handsome-looking man. Not only was he handsome, but his cultivation was also at profound core 8th level. It could be said that he was one of the people with the highest cultivation in this place. However, regarding this person's words, Ning Cheng was very clear in his heart. Although this person spoke nicely, but in fact, he was trying to sow discord. She deliberately used these words to sow discord between Yan Ji and the purple-robed woman. Originally, the two of them only had a slight disagreement, but because of this person's words, the two of them might even be more unhappy. Even though both of them knew that this man was trying to sow discord between them, there was still a gap between them. Yan Ji and the purple-robed woman ignored the words of this handsome male cultivator. The purple-robed woman simply kept her mouth shut, while Yan Ji walked towards Ning Cheng. This senior apprentice brother, I am Lu Continent's Blue Cloud 8-Star Academy's Yan Ji. Yan Ji arrived in front of Ning Cheng, and very politely cupped her fists in greeting. At this time, even the surrounding cultivators were looking at Yan Ji in doubt. Yan Ji and Nalan Rushua were known as the Lu Continent's twin lotus flowers on one stalk, as such they were extremely arrogant. How could such a proud person take the initiative to greet an unprepossessing cultivator like Ning Cheng? Ning Cheng's current appearance was that of a thin uncle in his 30s, with a face that looked like it had been through a lot of hardships. With just a glance, one could tell that he was not from a big academy. Your cultivation is higher than mine. I should be the one calling you senior sister. Ning Cheng quickly replied. He also did not understand why Yan Ji had helped him, and even wanted to greet him. Yan Ji showed a faint smile and spoke, in my opinion, cultivation is only temporary. Maybe one day you would have already advanced to the crucible transformation realm, while I would still be lingering in the profound congealing realm. If you use your cultivation to suppress others, there will come a day when you will be suppressed by others using your cultivation. To me, you're older than me, so you're my senior. Listening to these words, Ning Cheng immediately had a good impression of Yan Ji. Yan Ji's words were aimed at Kei Penghai. Kei Penghai's words a moment ago were like a bird's. It had already made Ning Cheng unhappy in his heart. Kei Penghai's expression was ugly, but he couldn't directly refute it. I have not yet asked for senior apprentice brother's name, and where did you come from? Yan Ji, seeing that Ning Cheng did not take the initiative to introduce himself, asked another question. Ning Cheng was helpless, and had to say, I am called Qing Xiaoning, I am just a rogue cultivator. A few years ago I was fancied by a general of the cultivator army, and was brought into the army. This time, the quota for the law's way was also picked up, as the general saw that my comprehension ability was quite good, so he let me participate in the law's way. Ning Cheng's words immediately caused the nearby people to chuckle. A man in his 30s, but still had the cultivation of essence building realm, it really could not be said that his comprehension ability was good. But Yan Ji did not care about it and spoke, because this time there are cultivators from the Yixing Ocean entering the Law's Way, so the inside of the Law's Way is definitely filled with dangers. If senior apprentice brother Cheng doesn't mind, you can join our group. While K Penghai was looking for trouble, Ning Cheng was already considering how to enter the Law's Way, and how to escape the fate of being hunted down. Although he was not afraid of Heng Jiaojiao, but that K Penghai was a profound core cultivator. If he had to face a profound core cultivator, then he would definitely not be his opponent. Many thanks junior apprentice Sister Ji, I am willing to join your group. Ning Cheng quickly thanked her. With his current cultivation, Yan Ji inviting him to join their group was obviously to help him. Yan Ji's motive and Heng Jiaojiao's were certainly different. As for why Yan Ji wanted to help him, he was still not very clear about it. When the purple-robed woman heard that Yan Ji not only stopped her from making things difficult for Ning Cheng, but also directly invited Ning Cheng to join their group, her complexion suddenly turned ugly. But at this time she was wearing a veil, as such other people could not see it. Yan Ji, on hearing Ning Cheng agree, immediately warmed up and introduced to Ning Cheng, my group is formed by me and senior apprentice brother Xiang from the Blue Cloud Academy. Senior apprentice brother Xiang has the cultivation of profound core 3rd level, and has the highest cultivation in our group. As for the rest of the people, let me introduce you. After Yan Ji introduced them, Ning Cheng discovered that in this group, even the lowest cultivation was Wu Zhimao, who was at Essence Building 9th level. The highest cultivation was Xiang, who was at Profound Core 3rd level. As for the rest of the people, Shirlakun was at Profound Congealing 6th level, Yan Xian was at Profound Congealing 9th level, and Hua Hong was at Profound Congealing 4th level. There were also 2 other female cultivators. Hu Miaojing was at Profound Congealing 7th level, while Ji Tingting was at Profound Congealing 1st level. The entire group, including Ning Cheng, had a total of 9 people. Besides Yan Ji, only Wu Zhimao, who was at Essence Building 9th level, was polite to Ning Cheng. The others merely nodded their heads in acknowledgement. Ning Cheng knew that these people only nodded their heads to him, because of Yan Ji, otherwise they simply would not have paid any attention to him, a cultivator at Essence Building 4th level. Heng Jiaojiao, on seeing Yan Ji stick up for Ning Cheng, knew that she had been scolded and could only resign herself to her fate. She took the opportunity to thank K Penghai, and joined his team. Ning Cheng sneered in his heart, letting this woman join his team. He hoped that this K Penghai would at least have some bones left. The twists and turns caused by Ning Cheng did not expand, and finally, because of Yan Ji's help, everything was calm. Ning Cheng was still wondering why Yan Ji wanted to help him, when he suddenly received Yan Ji's sound transmission. Senior apprentice brother Cheng, are you still wondering why I want to help you? Was this woman a demon? How could she know what he was thinking in his heart? Ning Cheng subconsciously stared at Yan Ji for a while. Yan Ji gave a friendly nod to Ning Cheng, and continued to speak. I helped you because I don't like this Heng Jiaojiao. When she spoke to you, she had a strong flavor of provocation. When you said, get lost, it caused her aura to stagnate, and was immediately recognized by me. This woman and a male cultivator with the same profound congealing cultivation had exterminated a village many years ago. At that time this woman had changed her appearance. At that time I was out adventuring, and my cultivation was not as good as them, so I could only endure it. Afterwards I have never seen these 2 people again. Do you know why I want you to join my team? You have a personality that abhors evil, and because of your actions a moment ago, there were already a few people who wanted to kill you. When this Heng Jiaojiao approached you, this woman's charm was mixed with a hint of killing intent. I guess you have not felt it. Heng Jiaojiao had a killing intent towards him. Ning Cheng immediately remembered, before they had not boarded the airship, he had revealed a trace of killing intent towards Heng Jiaojiao. Now it seems that Heng Jiaojiao had already felt that trace of killing intent from him. If not for Yan Ji reminding him, he would not have felt that Heng Jiaojiao wanted to kill him. Many thanks for the help from junior apprentice Sister Ji. You just have to take me to a place where there is no one around, and let me leave on my own. Ning Cheng quickly thanked her. He knew that Yan Ji had asked him to join the team, but did not expect him to contribute. It was purely to save his life. As for Yan Ji's grand introduction of the members of the team, and also asking about his origins, it was entirely out of respect for him. She would not let others think that she was just doing a favor, and was not even interested in knowing the names of the team members. This was a woman who would think for the sake of others. Yan Ji nodded, and did not oppose Ning Cheng. She really did intend to save Ning Cheng's life when they first entered the Law's Way. After they arrived at a safe place, Ning Cheng would then go out on his own to look for opportunities, and they would then part ways. If they entered the Law's Way, and still brought Ning Cheng along with them, then the other people in the team would definitely oppose it. Asking for Ning Cheng's name, and introducing the members of the team, just as Ning Cheng thought, it was out of respect for Ning Cheng. He thought for a moment and then added, "This Hang Jiaojiao and her lover are currently hiding in a tomb in the Jia continent, moreover the two of them often go and destroy some innocent villages." Ning Cheng immediately recalled the things that Meng Jingxiu had told him in the beginning. When Meng Jingxiu was carrying him on her back to escape, a village had been destroyed, moreover it was in a very miserable state. Now that he thought about it, it was definitely done by this Hang Jiaojiao and that Sikong Kai who he had killed. So that's how it is. Yan Ji's eyes flashed with a trace of killing intent, but she did not continue to speak. Another day later, the cabin door suddenly opened. An old voice called out from the outside, "We have arrived at the entrance to the Law's Way, everyone come out." Everyone was already feeling a little stuffy in the cabin. Now that they had reached the entrance, everyone rushed out. Ning Cheng followed behind Yan Ji's team, but was not in a hurry. Although his cultivation was not the worst in this group, but it was also the worst among the group of people. After coming out of the cabin, Ning Cheng discovered that they were standing on a smooth bluestone ground. He swept out with his spiritual consciousness, but his spiritual consciousness could only extend to a distance of 2 kilometers, before it was blocked. Without any new instructions, Ning Cheng could only wait on the bluestone ground with the other 500 to 600 cultivators who were about to enter the Law's Way. After about an hour, another airship landed on the bluestone ground. The airship stopped, and from inside came out about 400 cultivators. These people all had a trace of seawater aura on them. Ning Cheng had participated in the Yi Xing Ocean's War, and immediately knew that these people were the cultivators from the Yi Xing Ocean who were going to participate in the Law's Way. Chapter 198. The Law's Way was about to open, and all the cultivators who came to participate in the Law's Way were here for the first time. At this time no one spoke, the blue stone ground was completely silent. After another half a day, a faint layer of ripples suddenly appeared in the middle of the blue stone ground. This layer of ripples was originally very faint, but as time passed, this layer of ripples became more and more clear, forming a square-shaped ripple entrance. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out from the outside of the ripples, but was blocked by the ripples, and was completely unable to find out what was inside. The entrance to the Law's Way has appeared, everyone enter the Law's Way. As an old man standing in front of the ripples spoke, 1,000 people who were participating in the Law's Way quickly rushed into the square-shaped ripple entrance. Ning Cheng felt a few spiritual consciousnesses fall on his body, but he was not in a hurry, and followed behind Yan Ji's team as they entered the Law's Way. Ning Cheng had thought that the Law's Way was similar to a mystic realm, and was also a separate small world. But when he saw that the place he was stepping on was really a grassy path, he immediately thought that it really was a road. A complete heaven and earth Tao law was felt by everyone, causing most of the people to cry out in surprise. Some of the people could feel the complete cultivation laws, and felt that their comprehension was improving imperceptibly, and even immediately sat down and began to perfect their own magic techniques and cultivation methods. Ning Cheng also felt something different. It seemed that in this place, his understanding of the cultivation methods that he cultivated was a bit more profound, and his understanding of magic techniques and axe intent was also more thorough. But he was not as surprised as the others. He felt that this kind of thorough and profound feeling, if he could calm down and use the mysterious yellow origin to comprehend it, then even if he was outside, he would be able to achieve this effect. Yan Ji and the others also had faces full of joy, as they sped up. Ning Cheng followed behind the team, as he spread out his spiritual consciousness. Here, his spiritual consciousness was not affected at all. At the beginning, his spiritual consciousness could only see a grass road that was only 10 meters wide. But as his spiritual consciousness stretched out, he found that this road was like an endless fan shape. The further he went, the wider it got, until finally, his spiritual consciousness was completely like mud falling into the sea, disappearing without a trace. He could not see what was at the edge of the law's way, nor could he see the direction of the law's way. But the few spiritual consciousnesses that had locked onto him were immediately noticed by Ning Cheng. They were the Red Heaven Academy's K Penghai and Heng Jiaojiao. Moreover, one of them turned out to be the profound core 8th level cultivator who had provoked the purple-robed woman and Yan Ji. However, when that profound core 8th level cultivator saw Ning Cheng following behind Yan Ji's team, he did not continue to lock onto Ning Cheng, but rather changed his direction, and quickly led his team away. After Yan Ji and that profound core 3rd level cultivator called Xiang had a brief discussion, they chose a direction and quickly left. At this time, Ning Cheng discovered that no matter which direction he chose, the front would always be wide and endless. It was definitely not the 10-meter wide grass road that he saw at the beginning. This was really a strange place. The 9 people moved quickly, and in just the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng knew that the spiritual consciousness that had locked onto him had disappeared without a trace. Yan Ji's speed also slowed down. Ning Cheng understood that it was time for him to say his goodbyes. If he continued to follow behind this team, it would be annoying. Yan Ji slowing down her speed was to give him the opportunity to say his goodbyes. Just as Ning Cheng was about to say his goodbyes, a burst of howling sounds resounded, and then countless densely packed wolf heads appeared in front of everyone's eyes. It's a silver-patterned demon wolf pack. Everyone form a circular formation back to back, and block these demon wolves on the outside. Do not try to bring out a flight-type magical weapon to escape. The silver-patterned demon wolves are able to glide through the air. Even if you do not activate your flight-type magical weapon, you will still end up in their mouths. Xiang was the first to understand, and immediately shouted out. Almost at the same time that Xiang shouted out, all the people had already brought out their own magical weapons. Ning Cheng thought for a moment before taking out a flying sword. It was impossible for him to take out his true cosmic devil axe. Moreover, he had just purchased the profound break spear that he had not refined yet. In addition to this, he also had an extremely powerful halberd, but Ning Cheng intended to give this halberd to Meng Jingxiu, as such he had not refined it yet. At this time, other than taking out a flying sword, he did not have any other magical weapon. When Yan Ji saw that Ning Cheng had only brought out a flying sword, she frowned, and whispered to Ning Cheng, "You stay close to me." Ning Cheng looked at the incoming demon wolves. They were densely packed, and each of the demon wolves had an incomparably beautiful silver pattern on their bodies. Moreover, most of these demon wolves were class 3 and above. There were even a few class 14 demon wolves. Although there were no class 5 demon wolves, but there were only 9 people on Ning Cheng's side. Wanting to break through the mouths of these demon wolves would be somewhat difficult. However, Ning Cheng was not worried. He had the twin heavenly cloud wings. To deal with these demon wolves who could only glide through the air, the twin heavenly cloud wings was the best choice. If he was alone, he would have already brought out the twin heavenly cloud wings to escape. At this time, his cultivation was the lowest, as such Yan Ji had asked him to come closer in order to take care of him. Ning Cheng had just approached Yan Ji, when these demon wolves immediately pounced on him. Yan Ji's magical weapon was a blue-colored meteor damask. With the meteor damask, it was able to stimulate countless starlights. These starlights could be used to kill the enemy, and could also be used to form a circle of defensive shields. Ning Cheng quickly saw that something was wrong. Yan Ji's meteor damask could deal with these class 3 demon wolves very simply. As long as the meteor damask swept past the ordinary class 3 silver-patterned demon wolves, they would directly be pierced through by the starlights. But some of the late-stage class 4 silver-patterned demon wolves had thick skin and flesh. When these starlights swept past them, they would only lose a few hairs, and in more serious cases would only splatter a few blood stains. It was simply not enough to cause a fatal injury. Ning Qing guessed that Yan Ji's star lights were definitely more powerful, but the more powerful the star lights were, the more powerful they would consume. Even if Yan Ji went all out to stimulate even more powerful star lights, she would still not be able to kill a few Class 4 demon wolves. Even if her true essence was exhausted, the silver-patterned demon wolves would still be here. Ning Qing then looked at the rest of the people, except for Xiang, who could bring down several demon wolf corpses with each attack. The rest of the people were far inferior to Yan Ji. With the speed at which these people were killing the demon wolves, as well as the increasing number of demon wolves, they knew that they would not be able to avoid this calamity. Yan Ji did not use her killing move, as the cyan meteor damask had already retreated backwards. Ning Qing was already close to Yan Ji, as such when Yan Ji retreated, her back was completely stuck to Ning Cheng's back. An extremely soft feeling spread out. At that moment Ning Qing felt that Yan Ji's body was a bit stiff, but it quickly returned to that softness. He knew that this was definitely because of Yan Ji's incomparable embarrassment, and also because Yan Ji could not hold on any longer, otherwise it would be impossible for her to retreat and lean against his body. Ah! A painful cry arrived. Ning Qing saw that Jitingting, who was only at profound congealing first level, was struck in the chest by the silver-patterned demon wolf's blade light, causing a bloody wound to appear. If this went on, then all 9 of the people here would be killed by these silver-patterned demon wolves. Ning Qing no longer dared to hold back, as his flying sword stabbed out, and out of thin air, an ice-cold sword light appeared. These ice-cold sword lights were as if they had eyes, and instantly formed a huge ice-killing net. The Class 3 silver-patterned demon wolves, under this ice net formed by the sword lights, immediately slowed down their breathing. A few of them even turned into ice, and then under the sword lights, were directly killed. Even if it was a Class 4 silver-patterned demon wolf, because of this seemingly endless profound ice spear net, it became stagnant. Ning Qing on seeing this situation was incomparably pleasantly surprised in his heart. His true essence and spiritual consciousness had greatly increased, and even using his flying sword to cast the 36 profound ice spear technique had such a good effect. If it was before, then it would simply not have been possible. From this, it could be seen that before, he was not able to use the 36 profound ice spear technique as his trump card. It was not that the 36 profound ice spear technique was not good, but rather his strength was not good enough. No wonder the profound grade spells were so powerful. As long as one had formidable strength, the profound grade spells were indeed much more powerful than ordinary spells. Yan Ji was already incomparably powerful. In the face of this kind of opportunity, how could she let it go? The cyan meteor damask emitted star lights were no longer scattered in a large area, but rather concentrated together, forming into several star lights. These star lights, without exception, passed through the eyes of the slightly stagnant Class 4 silver-patterned demon wolves. In just a short period of time, more than a dozen silver-patterned demon wolves who were affected by the profound ice sword light were killed by her. Yan Ji was pleasantly surprised in her heart. She had not thought that Ning Cheng's flying sword technique would unexpectedly be so formidable. Although this profound ice sword light was not able to directly kill the Class 4 silver-patterned demon wolves, but with her help, even if these demon wolves were to come, they would not be a problem, as long as Ning Cheng was able to persist. Ning Cheng certainly could persist. Originally he was worried about how to kill these Class 4 demon wolves. These Class 4 demon wolves could only stagnate for a moment. But when he wanted to kill these stagnant Class 4 demon wolves, these Class 4 demon wolves had already recovered their mobility. With his cultivation level, it was not possible for him to kill these Class 4 demon wolves in a large area. But at this time, Yan Ji made up for his shortcomings. With Yan Ji's help from the side, it was simply a natural coordination. His 36 profound ice spear technique could cause these silver-patterned demon wolves to stagnate for a moment. With Yan Ji's cultivation at profound congealing 9th level, she could take advantage of the time that the silver-patterned demon wolves stagnated, and kill these silver-patterned demon wolves. With this coordination, a large number of silver-patterned demon wolves were quickly killed. Yan Ji was so excited to kill that she did not notice that Ning Cheng had already stopped. At this moment she was completely leaning on Ning Cheng's body, while constantly stimulating the star lights. The reason why Ning Cheng stopped was because these silver-patterned demon wolves had begun to retreat. The silver-patterned demon wolves were extremely cunning monstrous beasts. They usually appeared in groups, moreover their sense of danger was especially strong. Ning Cheng's side was killing a large number of silver-patterned demon wolves. It made the demon wolves understand that if they continued to stay, then they would undoubtedly die. With the roar of the alpha wolf, many of the demon wolves began to retreat. The silver-patterned demon wolves are retreating. The several people in the team excitedly called out. Previously, when the silver-patterned demon wolves were besieging the team, almost all of the people in the team had focused all of their attention on the demon wolves, and were trying their best to kill these demon wolves. But now that the demon wolves had retreated, the pressure on everyone was immediately reduced, and they immediately calmed down. Xiang was also very happy. He was sure that these demon wolves had retreated because he had killed a large number of them, causing the silver-patterned demon wolves to be afraid. He turned around and spoke with a slightly smug expression, "Junior apprentice Sister Ji, although these silver-patterned demon wolves are many, but as long as they know that besieging us is meaningless, then they will take the initiative to retreat." He had not finished speaking when he suddenly stopped, as he saw Yan Ji unexpectedly leaning on Ning Cheng's back. Chapter 199. When Yan Ji heard Xiang's words, and then stared at her, she immediately reacted, her face turned slightly red, and quickly moved her body away. Fortunately. Yan Ji was just about to say that it was fortunate that Ning Cheng had displayed his might at the last moment, and cast out such a powerful ice technique, which was able to scare off the silver-patterned demon wolf. Moreover, she was sure that this ice magic art was of the profound level, otherwise, it would not have such great lethality. Fortunately, senior apprentice brother Yu was able to display his invincible might, and was able to scare off the silver-patterned demon wolf. Ji Tingting quickly spoke up. She thought that Yan Ji was talking about Xiang. After all, Xiang had also said before, that as long as these silver-patterned demon wolves were scared of them, then they would immediately retreat. Moreover, if the silver-patterned demon wolf did not retreat, the first to die would definitely be her. For her, Cheng Xiaoning's luck was quite good, as she happened to be by senior apprentice Sister Ji's side. But Wu Zhimao, who was only at essence building 9th level, unexpectedly had an amazingly strong defensive ability. Relatively speaking, she, who was at profound congealing 1st level, was the most dangerous person here. Yan Ji's tone paused for a moment. She could not say at this time that she was not talking about Xiang. Wouldn't that be slapping Xiang's face? Xiang already felt that his gaze a moment ago was somewhat impolite. After all, he was dealing with the demon wolves. Moreover, he was also the one who had proposed the idea of having everyone back to back against each other. As such, he quickly took the initiative to speak up. "This is not my credit alone. The class 3 demon wolves in front of junior apprentice Sister Ji are piling up in front of me. It is clear that junior apprentice Sister Ji has put in a lot of effort this time. These silver-patterned demon wolves are actually very smart. As long as we hurt them, they will naturally retreat." Yan Ji knew how to cast ice spells. Xiang had already seen that almost all of the demon wolves in front of Yan Ji had died under the hands of ice spells. There were too many level 3 silver-patterned wolf demons, so he did not pay attention to the few level 4 silver-patterned wolf demons. Since Xiang had spoken in such a manner, then Yan Ji was even more unable to say anything. Fortunately, it was Ning Cheng. As such, she had no choice but to speak. This time senior apprentice brother Cheng also put in a lot of effort. "If not for senior apprentice brother Cheng, I would not have been able to kill so many silver-patterned demon wolves." The class 4 demon wolves in front of her were indeed killed by her, but what she had said was not wrong. If Ning Cheng had not used his ice-type magic technique, then she would not have been able to kill so many class 4 silver-patterned demon wolves. What made Yan Ji even more embarrassed was that after she spoke those words, everyone only gave an ahem and ahem, but not a single one of them even said a word of thanks to Ning Cheng. Yan Ji immediately understood what was going on. The people in the team thought that she was deliberately speaking up for Ning Cheng. As such, her words definitely meant that she wanted Ning Cheng to continue to stay in the team. In other people's view, Ning Cheng was only a cultivator at essence building 4th level, and staying in the team. Other than dragging everyone down, there was no other use. Yan Ji felt that she had to make it clear, before everyone was completely focused on dealing with the silver-patterned demon wolf, as such they were not able to see that Ning Cheng had put in a lot of effort. Thinking till here, she sternly said, "A moment ago senior apprentice brother Cheng really did have an ice-type magical technique, moreover this magical technique's area of effect killing power is very strong." When the silver-patterned wolves retreated, it was admittedly because of senior apprentice brother Xiang, but senior apprentice brother Cheng also put in a lot of effort. "I would like to invite senior apprentice brother Cheng." Xiang knew that Yan Ji wanted Ning Cheng to stay, but he did not know what Yan Ji saw in Ning Cheng. But he did not want Ning Cheng to continue to stay in the team, so he did not wait for Yan Ji to finish speaking, and immediately opened his mouth and said, "I estimate that K Penghai would not be able to find us here, let's take away the silver-patterned demon wolf that we killed, and quickly go to the depths of the law's way." In fact, Yan Ji was a bit embarrassed when she spoke those words. She believed that Ning Cheng was aware of the reason why she deliberately slowed down. But now that she saw that the other party was powerful, she even asked him to stay. This was indeed somewhat snobbish. But Ning Cheng was indeed powerful, moreover she had seen it with her own eyes. If such an expert stayed in the team, then it would absolutely be beneficial. Xiang had interrupted her words. Yan Ji certainly knew, it was because he did not want Ning Cheng to continue to follow the team and drag them down. In fact, from the battle a moment ago, it was not that Ning Cheng was dragging everyone down, but rather Ning Cheng had saved everyone. Yan Ji was just about to continue speaking, when Ning Cheng showed a faint smile and cupped his fists towards Yan Ji. "Many thanks to junior apprentice sister Ji for your help, K Penghai really should not be able to find us here. I will now take my leave, and hope to see you again." Saying that, Ning Cheng changed his direction and quickly left, and soon disappeared from their sight. Ji Tingting looked at the disappearing back of Ning Cheng, as she sighed and spoke, "He is also quite pitiful, a rogue cultivator, moreover his relations with others are not that good. For a person to leave alone, I estimate that it would only bode ill for him." Yan Ji also did not continue to ask Ning Cheng to stay. Xiang had already spoken those words. Moreover in the team, besides her inviting this senior apprentice brother Cheng to continue to stay, there was no one else who asked him to stay. It was obvious that they did not want him to continue to stay in the team. If he still wanted to stay in the team, then his face would simply be too thick. With this senior apprentice brother Cheng's cultivation, he was completely capable of acting alone. At the same time, Yan Ji also came to understand why Ning Cheng dared to tell Hang Jiaojiao to get lost on the ship. It was because he was not afraid of Hang Jiaojiao at all. Although he was an intermediate stage essence building cultivator, but his strength was absolutely not worse than Hang Jiaojiao's. It was just that Nalan Rushua came forward, and let the profound core cultivators find him. "Everyone pack up your things, let's hurry up and go." Seeing Ning Cheng already far away, Xiang quickly spoke up again. Yan Ji was also not polite. She directly put away all the silver-patterned demon wolves in front of her, although everyone was in a team, but the spoils of war still belonged to each of them. When all the spoils of war were packed up, Yan Ji suddenly remembered that she had been leaning on Qing Xiaoning's body, except for the moment when she had leaned on him, when Qing Xiaoning's heartbeat had sped up a bit. The rest of the time, unexpectedly his heartbeat had not sped up even a bit. What kind of concept was this? This meant that in the face of so many silver-patterned demon wolves, Qing Xiaoning simply did not have the means to be afraid. Compared to the people in their team, Qing Xiaoning's calmness was something that even she could not compare to. If Qing Xiaoning did not often encounter this kind of dangerous environment, then it meant that his strength was incomparably powerful. These silver-patterned demon wolves were simply not worth him to worry about. Of course, if he often encountered this kind of dangerous environment, and was still safe and sound, then it also showed that the other party's strength was formidable. On the contrary, her body was leaning on his body, which made his reaction even bigger than when he saw the silver-patterned demon wolves. Thinking until here, Yan Ji felt that her face was somewhat burning. She felt that she was too casual, and should not have leaned on Qing Xiaoning's body, but at that time, she simply had no choice but to retreat. Wrong, why was she leaning on Qing Xiaoning's body? That was because she was retreating, while Qing Xiaoning was not moving at all, which gave her a place to lean on. No matter from which point of view, this Qing Xiaoning who had just left was not a simple character. After clearing up these things, Yan Ji gave a sigh. At this time, if she had to choose a team, then she would rather choose to team up with Ning Cheng. At this time Ning Cheng was gliding through the air. It was not until today that he was able to fully enjoy the might of the twin heavenly cloud wings. This was far from the feeling of moving his wings when he fought with Wei Peng. At this time the twin heavenly cloud wings not only did not require much true essence, but was also incomparably easy to use. Compared to using a flight-type magical weapon, it was much faster and more convenient. At least he did not need to wait for the flight-type magical weapon to be fully activated before he could accelerate. He could accelerate and quickly fly away at any time and anywhere. With just a few flaps of his wings, Ning Cheng was already far away. An incomparably ferocious shadow brushed past him, causing Ning Cheng to quickly descend from the air. Flying in this place was also very dangerous. Once he encountered a high-level flying-type monstrous beast, then he would definitely die. Landing on the ground, Ning Cheng opened his hands, and a pair of wings that exuded a faint glow appeared in his hands. The twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves, it really is heaven-defying awe. Ning Cheng sighed, as he once again put away the pair of twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves. In the Jia continent, this pair of twin radiant heavenly cloud leaves was his biggest harvest. Ning Cheng looked at the place where he was standing. It was a wasteland that was not rich in spiritual qi. There were only a few tall hills scattered sparsely here and there, and between these hills were overgrown with weeds and weeds. It was incomparably desolate. Because the spiritual qi was not rich, there were no spiritual grasses worth digging here. In this kind of desolate place, there were absolutely very few people who would come here. As such, Ning Cheng decided to cultivate in this place. He intended to cultivate until he was almost done with the resources around him before he went out. The Law's Way did not have a time limit, but it was very dangerous. Not to mention those monstrous beasts, even if it was the cultivators from the Yi Xing Ocean, as well as those old fellows who had previously entered the Law's Way, once he encountered them, it would not necessarily be a good thing. Perhaps there were not many spirit stones here. If those old fellows who had come here earlier did not have any spirit stones to cultivate with, who knows if they would try to rob the new cultivators. Only by improving one's own strength, this was the hard and fast truth. Ning Cheng entered the wormwood. He intended to look for a big hill to dig out a simple immortal cave for his cultivation. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Ning Cheng stopped in front of a broken array formation restriction. There was already an immortal cave here. Moreover, the level of the array formation outside the immortal cave was not low, but because of the passage of time, these array formation restrictions were completely broken, and were no longer useful. It seems that there were a lot of people who had the same idea as him. After Ning Cheng cleaned up the array formation at the entrance of the immortal cave, he walked in and found that the inside was not small at all. There were two stone chambers. One was the main cultivation chamber and the other was the auxiliary cultivation chamber. Ning Cheng threw out Grey Toot Toot, and took out a huge jade box and placed it in the corner of the auxiliary cultivation chamber and said, "Your rations for the next few years are in here. When I go into seclusion, you are not allowed to disturb me. If you do not know how to save your food, and end up eating it in the middle of my seclusion, and want to disturb me, then I will first stew you into soup." After being together with Grey Toot Toot for such a long time, Ning Cheng already knew what kind of fellow Grey Toot Toot was. If he did not limit this fellow's rations, then even if there were many pills, it would still be able to eat them all. If he limited this fellow's rations, then this fellow would be incomparably frugal in eating pills. Moreover, it would also know how to hide it. When Grey Toot Toot heard Ning Cheng's words, it gave out a few indignant squeaks, but it quickly ran to the side of the jade box containing the pills, and carefully opened the jade box with its claws to take a look, and then immediately closed it again. It was obvious that it was very satisfied with the amount of rations that Ning Cheng had given it. Chapter 200. Ning Cheng ignored Grey Toot Toot, as he took out the array flags and began to arrange an array formation. This place had been used a long time ago, which meant that he wasn't the only one who could find this place. He had to set up more than one formation. First, he had to set up various concealment formations, shielding formations. Then, he had to set up a spirit gathering formation, a defense formation, a trapping formation, a killing formation. As long as it was an array formation that Ning Cheng could think of, he had almost arranged it all over this place. After arranging almost all the array formations, Ning Cheng finally felt relieved and prepared to go into seclusion. He had millions of spirit stones in his ring, and he planned to cultivate these things before going to other places. The speed at which Ning Cheng absorbed the spirit stones was already incomparably fast. As such, in this place he was unscrupulously arranging a spiritual gathering array to cultivate, which was even crazier than when he was cultivating in the Angry Axe Valley. At least if he cultivated here, he would not have to worry about not having enough spirit stones. Countless spirit stones, under the operation of the non-phase cultivation method, completely turned into spiritual qi, which was directly absorbed by Ning Cheng. If it could be said that when he was cultivating in the Angry Axe Valley, the spirit stones in that room had turned into a spiritual mist, then the spiritual qi that was stimulated by Ning Cheng's cultivation had turned into a spiritual rain. This spiritual qi rain was completely absorbed by Ning Cheng, while Ning Cheng was immersed in the transformation of his true essence and the advancement of his cultivation. As such, he had completely forgotten about the level 3 true pills that he was prepared to consume. As time flowed by quietly, Grey Toot Toot saw the level 3 true pill beside Ning Cheng. It carefully closed its own jade box, and gently approached Ning Cheng. It was ready to take away all the tier 3 true pills around Ning Cheng without disturbing him. However, when it approached the spiritual mist rain, it immediately discovered that the spiritual mist was not inferior to the elixirs. It immediately learned from Ning Cheng, and began to absorb the spiritual qi mist from the side. Ning Cheng's cultivation was different from others. He had a certain stage. Sometimes he would suddenly advance a few levels, and sometimes he would stay in a certain stage for a long time. But at this time, he had been stuck at the essence building 4th level for a long time. It was not that he did not want to cultivate, but rather he did not have the opportunity to cultivate. At this time, he was fully concentrating on absorbing the spiritual qi for his cultivation, and very quickly broke through the essence building 4th level, and advanced to the essence building 5th level. Then he once again broke through to the essence building 5th level, and advanced to the essence building 6th level without any hindrance. Countless spirit stones were turned to dust, but Ning Fan didn't feel the slightest bit of heartache. The true essence in his body was already gurgling, and there was even a hissing sound. It was obvious how powerful the true essence was. However, Ning Cheng still continued to absorb the spiritual qi water mist, and did not have the slightest intention of stopping. No other cultivator would be able to absorb such a terrifying amount of spiritual qi for cultivation like Ning Cheng, but Ning Cheng was different. Before his meridians were completely reshaped by the mysterious yellow origin, he simply could not cultivate endlessly like this without knowing the bottom line. Now, no matter how much spiritual qi was absorbed by him, it would turn into endless true essence. Ka. Fine sounds were constantly emitting from Ning Cheng's body. Every time a ka sound appeared, it represented that Ning Cheng had once again expanded an aperture acupoint, breaking through a layer of barrier. Essence building 7th level. Essence building 8th level. It was not until he reached the essence building 8th level that Ning Cheng finally reacted. He had not touched the pill in his hand. He quickly took out a pill from the jade box beside him and threw it into his mouth. Even if he did not use a pill to advance this fast, if he used a pill it would definitely be even faster. This was what Ning Cheng was thinking. The pills that Ning Cheng had refined were true pills that were not bound by the pill art. The spiritual nature of the true pills rushed into Ning Cheng's meridians, and gathered in his dantian, almost causing Ning Cheng's dantian to burst open. Feeling the inexhaustible spiritual nature of the pill and the spiritual mist mixing together, Ning Cheng's dantian almost burst open. Ning Cheng finally became a little nervous. If he exploded in the middle of his cultivation, then it would be the biggest joke in the world. Ning Cheng hurriedly revolved the cultivation method in a crazy manner, but no matter how much he revolved the cultivation method, the violent spiritual herbs and spiritual qi that were gathering in his dantian and meridians were getting thicker and thicker. He was unable to transform them into true essence in a short period of time. Ka-cha! Another sound resounded, as Ning Cheng's cultivation directly rose to the essence building 9th level. A large amount of true essence suddenly seemed to have found a vent, and dissipated away. Ning Cheng did not even have time to breathe a sigh of relief, when that kind of violent medicinal effect once again gathered. Ning Cheng immediately panicked, he felt that he was too crazy. Other people ate pills one by one, but he unexpectedly swallowed them all in one go. Even if his meridians were reshaped by the mysterious yellow origin, he would not be able to withstand this kind of terrible medicinal effect. After his meridians were reshaped by the mysterious yellow origin, he had always felt that the spiritual qi in his cultivation was not enough, it was not enough, but this time he finally felt that it was too much. If this continued, then his body would explode. It seems that he was too confident in his own meridians and the rate at which he could absorb the spiritual qi, and had finally reached a point where it could not be remedied. Cultivation really was not something that could be rushed, it was a gradual process. Ning Cheng forcibly calmed himself down, while crazily revolving the cultivation method, he slowly guided the powerful medicinal effect and spiritual qi that had gathered in his dantian. After Ning Cheng calmed down, the cultivation method that he was cultivating in suddenly automatically changed, the medicinal effect and spiritual qi that had filled his dantian and meridians a moment ago, under this kind of change in the cultivation method, was quickly transformed into true essence at the fastest speed, and turned into Ning Cheng's own cultivation. Ning Cheng was overjoyed in his heart, as he hurriedly focused on guiding the impact of the true essence in his meridians, while at the same time slowly stabilizing his own cultivation. The mysterious yellow formless was truly amazing. During the process of cultivation, one could change the cultivation method and the direction and position of the aperture acupoints anytime and anywhere. This kind of heaven-defying cultivation method, he estimated that no cultivation method would be able to achieve this, right? Not knowing how much time had passed, Ning Cheng felt a clear sound coming from within his body. He opened his eyes, and stopped his cultivation. At this moment his whole body was incomparably relaxed. This kind of formidable strength could not be described in words, but it was truly formidable. Casually sweeping out with his spiritual consciousness, he found that it had increased by several times compared to before, while the true essence had also increased by more than 10 times. He had reached the great circle of essence building 9th level, and was only a single step away from stepping into the profound congealing realm. Ning Cheng believed that as long as he reached the profound congealing realm, he would be able to kill Heng Jiaojiao in seconds. Ning Cheng in his heart was extremely happy. This kind of cultivation was truly enjoyable. This was what cultivation was called. Once he reached the profound congealing realm, coupled with his twin heavenly cloud wings, even if a profound core cultivator wanted to kill him, he estimated that it would not be an easy thing to do. Perhaps Ning Cheng himself did not know that once he entered the profound congealing realm, he would be able to form his core lake and become even more formidable. I must step into the profound congealing realm, Ning Cheng secretly made up his mind. He had only used up half of the millions of spirit stones, there was still the other half here. Not to mention that he would be able to enter the profound congealing realm, he only lacked a single profound clear pill. The profound clear pill was a level 4 true pill. The main spiritual grasses it contained were silver frost silk, flowerless fruit, and extreme essence grass. If it was someone else, this level 4 true pill might have been very difficult to obtain, but Ning Cheng had these spiritual grasses. The only thing he lacked now was to refine this pill. Ning Cheng believed that with his current cultivation, refining a level 4 true pill would not be too difficult for him. He had a lot of spiritual grasses to practice with, and now he also had a lot of time. As long as he persisted, he would definitely be able to advance to the level 4 true pill master. After experiencing the danger of swallowing the pill, Ning Cheng was also aware that the pill that he refined seemed to be different from the pills that other people refined. The medicinal properties of the pills he refined were much stronger, moreover the binding properties were also much smaller. He guessed that it was because he did not use the pill art. The medicinal properties of the pills without the pill art would definitely be much more violent and close to the original characteristics of the spiritual grasses. Ning Cheng estimated the time, from the essence building 5th level to the great circle of the essence building 9th level, he had used a lot of spirit stones, but the total time spent was less than a year. Seeing Gray Toot Toot happily absorbing the spiritual chi on the side, Ning Qing did not care about it, and continued to learn how to refine level 4 pills. Preparing to advance to the profound congealing realm. In just a year's time, the Law's Way had undergone too many changes. Almost everyone here had made progress. There were even some cultivators who were unable to advance in the outside world, but in this complete world of laws, their progress was even greater than Ning Cheng's. Ning Qing certainly did not know that he was only at the first segment of the Law's Way. It could even be said that he was only at the entrance of the Law's Way. In the depths of the first segment of the Law's Way, there was a narrow valley entrance. Perhaps other than Ning Qing, almost all the people who entered the Law's Way were very clear that after passing through this narrow valley entrance, they would be able to reach the second segment of the Law's Way. At this time in the front section of this narrow valley entrance, there were 7 or 8 bluestone doors. If one wanted to pass through this narrow valley entrance, then one would have to go through the bluestone doors. But in front of these bluestone doors, there were 2 or 3 profound core cultivators leading a group of profound congealing cultivators blocking the way. All the cultivators who wanted to pass through the bluestone doors, and go to the second segment of the Law's Way, had to hand over a certain amount of spirit stones or something else. Otherwise, not only would they not be allowed to pass through, they would even face the danger of losing their lives. A profound core first-level male cultivator came over with a profound congealing 6th-level female cultivator. The profound core cultivator walked up to one of the bluestone doors and cupped his fists and spoke, "I am Qiu Yuanqing from the Profound Moon 7-Star Academy, because when I came in, I did not bring many spirit stones with me. Here I have 10,000 high-grade spirit stones. I ask this friend to bend the rules, and let me borrow 10,000 spirit stones. Are you trying to send off a beggar? I can see that the female cultivator beside you is quite good. Leave behind your storage ring, and also this female cultivator. I will let you pass." The one who spoke was a profound congealing 6th-level cultivator standing next to the bluestone door. He simply did not put Qiu Yuanqing, who was at the profound core first level, in his eyes. Qiu Yuanqing's complexion changed, as he spoke in a low voice, "I am also from the Profound Moon 7-Star Academy. For your distinguished self to speak like that, isn't it a bit too rude?" Rude? A 7-star academy is nothing but a fart. Even if it was a 9-star academy, we would still have to collect our things. Hurry up, otherwise don't blame us for being impolite. This profound congealing 6th-level cultivator, on hearing Qiu Yuanqing's words, became even more arrogant. Qiu Yuanqing's complexion turned extremely ugly, as he took a few steps back and spoke, "In that case, we will not pass. Whether you pass or not is not up to you." This time the one who spoke was not the profound congealing 6th-level cultivator, but rather another profound core 4th-level cultivator. As this person finished speaking, he immediately rushed forward, followed by the 5 profound congealing cultivators behind him. But at the side of the bluestone door, there was a profound core 4th-level cultivator with several other profound congealing cultivators standing guard. Seeing this scene, a young girl who had not yet entered the bluestone door spoke out in panic, "Elder Sister Lingwei, why are these people so unreasonable?" The female cultivator called Lingwei, on hearing these words, quickly pulled the young girl to the side, and spoke in a low voice, "Yen Yen, don't talk nonsense." Lingwei's words had not yet finished, when she saw a bloody light spurt out. That profound core first-level cultivator called Qiu Yuanqing was split into 2 halves by the profound core 4th-level cultivator, while the profound congealing 6th-level female cultivator was directly restrained by the other people, as they slowly dragged her to the bluestone door. Chapter 201. How could a few million spirit stones be so easy to obtain? Obtaining the ring inside the Angry Axe Valley, he was just lucky. An extremely terrifying murderous intent cut through the sky, bringing with it a faint trace in the air, as it fell down. This trace directly locked everything in the surroundings in the middle of this axe trace. Ning Qing left the immortal cave, and stood on top of a hill. He could feel that his cultivation was several times stronger than before, and could not help but let out a long roar. Not continuing to swallow the last 2 profound clarity pills, Ning Cheng took out a small handful of pills and threw it into his mouth. This was the profound essence pill. It was the result of his practice of refining level 4 true pills. Some of them were only medium-grade pills. But at this time Ning Cheng could no longer care about it. His spirit stones were limited. Once he ran out of spirit stones, with the consumption rate of his cultivation, he would not be able to rely solely on pills to improve his cultivation. Among the millions of high-grade spirit stones, Ning Cheng's cultivation method once started operating, and his figure completely disappeared. Only a layer of spiritual qi mist and spiritual qi rain shrouded him. This spiritual qi rain mist was completely absorbed by Ning Cheng. With these 2 profound clarity pills, his cultivation had indeed greatly increased, but it was still not enough. It was far from meeting the requirements of his core lake. The true essence liquid in the core lake finally formed a small layer. Ning Cheng wanted to grab another handful of pills, but he found that all the level 4 true pills that he had refined had already been completely eaten by him. 12 consecutive crisp sounds could be heard, as 12 milky white pills were brought out from the pill furnace by Ning Cheng, and fell into the jade box next to him. Ning Cheng took out one of the pills and carefully looked at it. The pill was a pure milky white in color, without even a shred of impurities. It was in the form of a special grade profound rainbow pill. Profound congealing 3rd level. Catcha, the core lake expanded, profound congealing 4th level. The residue was taken away by Ning Cheng, as the spiritual liquid quickly condensed and fused together, forming a pill, and then automatically divided into 12 portions. One would not be able to tell that this was the work of a puppy. Its 2 paws were also very flexible. Because Ning Cheng did not have a single pill art for alchemy, pill fusion art, pill division art, pill formation art, pill withdrawal art. The pill arts that were necessary for alchemy could not be seen at all in Ning Cheng's alchemy. When the second profound clarity pill entered his mouth, it turned into a gurgling spiritual liquid. The impact was clearly much stronger than before. Furthermore, the circulation speed of the true essence in his meridians and the speed of the circulatory cycle revolution were more than doubled. But these were not enough. Ning Cheng could not break through the barrier that he had already touched. Grey Toot Toot immediately understood the meaning of Ning Cheng's words. It unexpectedly very quickly tied the thin thread on the ring into a knot, and then put the ring around its neck, and with a wave of its paw, threw the box of pills into its own ring. Once again swallowing the essence accumulating pill, Ning Cheng's spiritual qi absorption speed became even crazier. The profound clear pill transformed into a spiritual liquid that was incomparably powerful. Coupled with the spiritual qi that Ning Cheng was absorbing, it crazily attacked Ning Cheng's apertures and his cultivation level. That is to say, with his cultivation of profound congealing realm, he could easily crush a profound core cultivator. This kind of strength, even Ning Cheng himself, who had advanced to the profound congealing realm and formed his core lake, had not even thought of it. The gurgling medicinal liquid and the spiritual qi, under the operation of Ning Cheng's new cultivation method, were still somewhat insufficient. Ning Cheng always felt that the intensity of the spiritual source was still lacking something. As such, he did not hesitate to swallow the second profound clear pill. Ning Cheng was even stunned for a moment. A few million spirit stones, were there so many essence accumulating pills? The true essence liquid in his core lake was far from being filled up. Even the edges of his core lake had not been filled up, yet it was all gone. Purification, liquid condensation, spiritual recovery, congealing, pill formation, silver frost thread, flowerless fruit, extreme essence grass and more than a dozen other medicinal herbs were placed into the pill furnace by Ning Cheng in order, as he began to refine the medicinal herbs, and separated the residue. After taking out the spirit stones, Ning Cheng swallowed a profound clear pill, and began to attack the profound congealing realm. 12 profound clear pills, all of them were top quality. Moreover, the color and size were exactly the same, and were exuding a kind of original spiritual grass fragrance. Without the cultivation resources, continuing to cultivate was meaningless. Ning Cheng felt that his own cultivation was just a waste of cultivation resources. With good things, he would crazily advance. Without good things, even if he had many years, he estimated that he would not be able to advance even a single step. Ding ding dang dang. Just like pearls falling onto a jade plate, 12 crisp sounds resounded. 12 cyan-colored pills were brought out by Ning Cheng, and fell into the jade box that he had already prepared. "You're amazing, just follow me." Although Ning Cheng said that, but in his heart he was also very happy. Grey Tutut's fur was even shinier. It was obvious that he had made great progress. At this time, Grey Toot Toot, he did not need to throw it into the spiritual beast bag, and could still keep up with him. Ning Cheng knew that Grey Toot Toot could not eat a level 4 true pill. Even if it was a level 3 true pill, it would not dare to eat it. This guy had stolen it to hide it. Ning Cheng stood up. It was time to leave. Ning Cheng picked up a profound clear pill and handed it to Grey Toot Toot and said, "Do you dare to eat it? If you dare to eat it, then I will not take any of these 12 profound clear pills. You can swallow them all. Don't think that when I was cultivating, you would sneak up on me to steal my pills. I would not know about it." No wonder Elder Sister Shu said that the true cosmic devil metal had a devilish nature. It really was the case. Moreover, he had not seen any blood. Once it saw blood, then the devilish nature would definitely become even more violent. After Grey Toot Toot left, Ning Cheng once again sprinkled out all the remaining high-grade spirit stones. These spirit stones were all distributed into his spiritual gathering array formation. His actions were like floating clouds and flowing water. If a person who did not understand alchemy saw this, they would definitely be amazed, as they would feel that Ning Cheng was simply enjoying alchemy. If a person who was proficient in alchemy saw Ning Cheng's actions, then they would definitely curse Ning Cheng for acting like a pretentious prick. The true essence that originally filled his dantian suddenly became sparse. Ning Cheng felt that his strength had once again increased by more than 10 times, but at the same time he also felt that his own cultivation was far from enough. He wanted to fill up his core lake with liquid true essence. At least it could not be like this, where his true essence simply could not be seen in the core lake. The next moment, he brought out the true cosmic devil axe, and chopped out with his axe, angry axe, the first trace. Ning Cheng gave a sigh. The difficulty of refining the profound rainbow pill was not any worse than the profound clear pill, but since he was able to refine such a high-quality profound rainbow pill without using a pill art, then it showed that he could also refine the profound clear pill. "Yeah!" Grey Toot Toot called out from the side. Apparently he also knew that Ning Cheng's pill was not bad. Grey Toot Toot seemed to have already known that Ning Cheng was going to leave, as he held the big jade box in his paws, looking very funny. The axe trace went down, forming a several dozen feet long gully in front of Ning Cheng. Outside of the gully traces, there was still a terrifying killing intent. It was as if an axe light was circling around the gully endlessly. Grey Toot Toot, on seeing that Ning Cheng did not want it to go into the spiritual beast bag, immediately called out a few times in joy. The meaning behind it was incomparably grateful. But what Ning Cheng cared about was not this. What he was pleasantly surprised about was the might of this axe. He had not fought against a profound core cultivator for the first time. He was sure that even if it was a late-stage profound core cultivator, in front of this axe, they would not be able to escape unscathed. Didn't this mean that if he could not get more spirit stones, and could not get more pills, then he would be stuck at the profound congealing 4th level for the rest of his life? Ning Cheng sobered up. Only then did he discover that the surrounding spiritual chi mist had also gradually dissipated. A few million spirit stones had disappeared just like that. What a terrifying axe! Even Ning Cheng himself could not help but secretly exclaim in admiration. He felt that when the axe was blasted out, he could not help but feel a kind of bloodthirsty feeling welling up in his heart. Although it was the same, angry axe, the first trace, but this axe was more than 100 times more powerful than before. Ning Cheng was no longer a rookie when it came to alchemy. As such, his technique was already incomparably proficient. He had recently been continuously refining level 4 pills for more than a month. Moreover, with the support of his powerful spiritual consciousness and true essence, performing these actions was much easier than when he was refining level 3 true pills. Ning Cheng could feel that his strength was constantly increasing. He even had a vague illusion that if he did not attack the profound congealing 2nd level in this way, his strength would still continue to increase, but his cultivation would still remain at the profound congealing 1st level. His core lake was simply too powerful. Even after absorbing so many spiritual medicines and spiritual chi, he still could not feel any impact. So many cultivation resources were transformed into true essence, but when it fell into his core lake, it was just like mud falling into the sea. This time Grey Toot Toot quickly turned its head, tucked its tail between its legs, and carefully retreated into its own auxiliary cultivation room. When Ning Ching swallowed the 8th profound clear pill, he felt his whole body shake, as the layer of barrier around him shattered with a kacha sound. Outside his dantian, an embryonic form of a core lake was formed. The core lake wrapped around his dantian, while the true essence escaped from his dantian, and scattered into the middle of the core lake. This true essence formed into a true liquid, which was getting more and more compressed. Not only that, but this axe also contained a kind of ruthless killing intent and an indescribable desire. It was as if all the things that dared to stand in the way of this axe must be crushed to pieces, must be turned into dust. In this world, only this axe trace could exist, the rest were just floating clouds. It certainly did not dare to eat a level 4 true pill, at least not now. It thought that once its boss refined a level 4 profound clear pill, he would be happy in his heart, and would then send it a few pills, and then it would secretly take these pills and hide them in its own jade box. It would not be too late to enjoy them later. Ning Ching took out a ring without any restrictions, tied the ring with a thin thread and threw it to Grey Toot Toot and said, "Use it yourself. If you do not know how to use it, I will help you put it away." Ning Ching only had a single set of the materials for the profound clear pill, as such he did not dare to casually refine it. In case it was damaged, it would be bad for him. Who knew how long he would have to stay in the law's way? Who knew if the law's way had any medicinal herbs for refining the profound clear pill? The 3rd, the 4th, the 7th, the 9th profound clear pill, the 10th profound clear pill was swallowed by Ning Ching. Combined with the spiritual chi mist from the inexhaustible spirit stones, Ning Ching still felt that it was not enough for him to absorb. The true essence liquid in his core lake was indeed increasing, but this kind of increase compared to his core lake, which was getting more and more solid, was simply insignificant. The profound essence pill was originally a level 4 true pill, and was provided for the cultivation of profound congealing cultivators. Moreover, the profound essence pill refined by Ning Cheng was also incomparably powerful. With this small amount, combined with the inexhaustible spiritual chi mist, Ning Cheng's core lake once again solidified and expanded. The gurgling true essence continuously transformed into true liquid, as Ning Cheng's cultivation directly rose to the profound congealing 2nd level. Boom! Chapter 202. Ning Cheng brought out a spiritual artifact airship. With his current cultivation, ordinary flying monstrous beasts would not pose much of a threat to him. Ning Cheng could clearly feel that the laws of heaven and earth here were more complete compared to the outside world. But at the same time, he felt that compared to others, he didn't get as many benefits as he imagined under such a complete set of rules. Moreover, he also had another kind of vague feeling, that in this law's way, there was a direction where the laws seemed to be more complete, and the more he advanced in that direction, the clearer this feeling became. Ning Ching did not hesitate and directly controlled the airship to move in that direction. For him, if he could not cultivate inside the law's way, then he would not be able to get a clearer understanding of the magic techniques and cultivation. As such, there would not be any meaning for him to come here. However, he could not go out for the time being. Since Kong Peng Peng had helped him, he wanted to help Kong Peng Peng find the spiritual enhancement true nectar. Moreover, even if he wanted to leave immediately, he didn't know how. Elder sister Lingwei, senior apprentice brother Bi Xingjin is just too much. He just brought a few profound congealing cultivators with him and a profound core cultivator, and completely ignored us. No matter what, he is also from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy. How can he be like this? At the edge of a bamboo forest where the spiritual chi was scarce, there was only a young girl like Zhang Sun Yen sitting on top of a bare stone, while speaking in a somewhat dissatisfied tone. The woman who was being addressed as elder sister Lingwei was the Dragon and Phoenix Academy's Jia Lingwei, and her tone seemed to always carry a trace of mature rationality. However, her hair was a little messy at this moment, and her expression was no longer as calm and rational as before. Hearing Zhang Sunyan's complaints, she sighed and spoke, "Everyone forming a team is only temporary. If you really encounter any danger inside the law's way, then you can only rely on yourself." Although senior apprentice brother Bei Xingjin could not bring us to the second segment of the law's way, but he still managed to save us. Otherwise, with our abilities, even if we took out everything we had, we wouldn't be able to escape unscathed. Those people are demons. Did you see what happened to the female cultivator who was with Qiu Yuanqing? Sigh. In Zhang Sunyan's mind appeared the naked appearance of that female cultivator with her clothes stripped off, causing her to subconsciously shiver, as she spoke with a lingering fear in her heart, "Elder sister Lingwei, aren't these people also the ones who entered the law's way before? They used to be disciples of big sections. How did they become like devils? Have they never seen a woman before?" Jia Lingwei's mouth showed a trace of a bitter smile, as she slowly spoke, "Since there are people blocking the second segment of the law's way, then it means that there are also people blocking the third segment. These profound core cultivators and profound congealing cultivators blocking the way to the second level should be because their cultivation was stuck, and was unable to progress any further, otherwise they would have already left this place. Any cultivator who stayed inside the law's way would not be able to go forward, nor would they be able to retreat. They had no resources to cultivate, no city to live, and couldn't do anything else. They could only slowly wait for death. Pigs were also very popular in their eyes. Not to mention these female cultivators who had just come in. Therefore, Senior Brother B being able to protect us and allow us to escape unscathed is already a great kindness. Although Senior Brother B is handsome, I don't like him. Just look at him provoking Nalan Rushue and Yen Ji on board, you know that he is a very scheming person." Zhang Sunyan pouted as she spoke. If not for Bei Xingjin also being from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, she might have spoken out even more unpleasant words. Jia Lingwei gave a faint smile and spoke, "Although Yen Ji's academy is an 8-star academy, but its strength is not the slightest bit worse than a 9-star academy, perhaps it will soon become the 4th major 9-star academy in the Le Continent. The Dragon and Phoenix Academy is one of the 3 major academies of the Le Continent. Senior Brother B is also from the Dragon and Phoenix Academy, and Rushue is also from the Wu Nian Academy, which is also one of the 3 major academies. For him to provoke the relationship between Yen Ji and Rushue is also normal. The competition between the major academies is also ubiquitous, it's just that you don't know about it. That Nalan Rushue, I don't like her very much. Moreover, I and that senior brother called Ning Cheng are also meeting for the first time, but I think that he is a good person. Nalan Rushue using a borrowed knife to kill people is not very good. I like elder sister Yen Ji a bit more." Zhang Sunyan was young, and spoke frankly, without any scheming. Jia Lingwei hastily coughed, as she pulled Zhang Sunyan back, and then stood up and called out, "Junior apprentice sister Rushue." Then she cupped her fists and spoke, "Lingwei greets senior apprentice brother Cheng." Although Zhang Sunyan was young, but when people heard her talking behind someone's back, it was a bit embarrassing, so she quickly followed behind Jia Lingwei and cupped her fists as she spoke, "Zhang Sunyan greets senior apprentice brother Cheng." In Nalan Rushue's team, the one with the highest cultivation was this senior apprentice brother Cheng, with the cultivation of profound core 5th level. "Senior apprentice sister Lingwei, don't tell me that there are only the 2 of you left in your team." Senior apprentice brother Bei Xingjin already has the cultivation of profound core 8th level, how could this be? Seeing only Jia Lingwei and Zhang Sunyan, Nalan Rushue spoke with some surprise. It seems that she did not put the words spoken by Zhang Sunyan in her heart. Although they had encountered many dangers along the way, but out of the 11 people in the team, there were still 8 people left. That's not the case, because the entrance to the second segment of the law's way was blocked by some people. Moreover, these people are abnormally fierce. Jia Lingwei shook her head sadly, as she spoke about the things that they had experienced before, and finally suggested, "Junior apprentice sister Rushue, I suggest that you and the other 2 junior apprentice sisters do not go there for the time being. Wait until you advance to the late stages of the profound core realm in the future, and then form a team to go there." "Outrageous," This group of beasts actually dares to act so recklessly. I originally admired Brother B a lot, but Brother B's actions this time are really disappointing. Listening to Jia Lingwei's words, the profound core 5th level cultivator with the highest cultivation in Nalan Rushua's team spoke out in a hateful voice, as his anger suddenly erupted. Jia Lingwei quickly spoke up, there are many cultivators guarding the entrance to the canyon with the cultivation of profound core realm, moreover their magical techniques are extremely powerful. Once someone is defeated, then the 8 profound core cultivators from the Blue Stone Academy would all join forces, that is a total of 20 to 30 profound core cultivators. Even if we add up all the profound core cultivators who entered the law's way, there would not necessarily be so many of them. Senior apprentice Brother B was able to ensure that Yen Yen and I were able to safely retreat, it is already a great help to us. Junior apprentice Sister Rushua, you and the other 2 junior apprentice sisters stay here, we will go and have a look first. The profound core cultivator also calmed down, although Bi Xingjin's cultivation was higher than his, but he was also unable to do anything to the other party. He was just a profound core 5th level cultivator, as such he definitely would not be able to fight him head-on. Nalan Rushua firmly shook her head and spoke, I will not stay here, even if I die, I will still go to the second segment of the law's way, staying here would only cause my cultivation to stagnate. Since I have already chosen the path of cultivation, I will not give up because of any obstacles. Zhang Sun Yan whispered to herself, that is because you have not seen the scene at that time, if you had seen it, then you would not have thought like this. Nalan Rushua had obviously heard Zhang Sun Yan's words, but her expression was still firm, as if she was determined to go to the second segment of the law's way. Jia Lingwei was silent for a moment, before she slowly spoke up, I will also go, if I can't get through, then I will just turn into dust. Elder Sister Lingwei. Zhang Sun Yan could not believe what she was seeing as she looked at Jia Lingwei, this was obviously a place that they could not get through, why would they still want to go through it? Nalan Rushua had not been there, so she did not know about the situation, but they had actually come from that place. Jia Lingwei shook her head, but did not answer Zhang Sun Yan. She had already been thinking about this issue in her heart, although she had safely retreated from the entrance of the second segment of the law's way, but almost all of the spirit stones and cultivation resources that she had on her body had already been used up. In this first segment of the law's way, other than the fact that the laws of the heaven and earth were more complete than the outside, there were very few places that were rich in spiritual qi, and even fewer spiritual grasses. In the case that she did not have any spirit stones on her body, if she continued to stay here, then other than waiting for death, there was no other way. Perhaps what Nalan Rushua had said was right, if she followed behind the team, then there was still a chance for her to enter, but in the future when she was alone, then the chances would be even more uncertain. When she spoke those words, she had already made a decision, if she really could not get through, then she would just have to die. That profound core 5th level cultivator did not care about Jia Lingwei's decision, and just nodded and spoke, since that is the case, then let's go together. At the very least, I can do what Bei Xingjin did, and keep you safe. Since elder sister Lingwei is going, I do not dare to stay here alone, I will also go together with you. Zhang Sun Yan timidly spoke up. Let's go, we really want to take a look at what kind of things these guys are. This profound core 5th level cultivator spoke up in a heroic manner, as he took the lead. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.